Good evening, everyone. Hello and welcome to the Champions League Goal Show Live. We are back once again for match day 3 of the competition. And it was an absolute cracker last night. Some incredible fixtures across the board in the Champions League. And hopefully tonight, can we get something similar? We will have to find out indeed. Over the next 10 minutes, we're going to go through the lineups of today's fixtures, talk about these games. And then, of course, when we do hit 8 o'clock, as always, we will go straight into the fixtures and hopefully have plenty of goals, because last night was an absolute cracker indeed. Fingers crossed we can get the same amount of goals and explosive moments once again. But we've got plenty of games to go through. As I said, we've got 10 minutes to get through them. So, of course, we'll bring the boys in one by one, talk about the fixtures that we have today. And hopefully we should have some good matches across the board. So let's get into it straight away. Of course, time is of the essence right now before these games do kick off in just a moment's time. The first game we're going to talk about, I think, is the biggest game on paper out of all of the Champions League fixtures today. And he had a fantastic match yesterday. He's got another bloody good game again today. It is KL. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic, and I'm just hoping, as you say, for more of yesterday.
Hopefully so. It was a thrilling fixture between Real Madrid and Inter Milan yesterday. And you can see on the screen an interesting lineup today for RB Leipzig. It's a 3-4-2-1 from the German side. Galacki is in goal, back three of Canate, Upamecano and Willy Orban. Midfield 4, Mukiele on the right, Angelino on the left, Sabitzer and Haidara in the middle. Attacking midfield 2 could be left wing and right wingers, Nkunku and Forsberg. And then up top tonight is a striker, no recognised striker. It's Dani Olmo, the Spaniard, who takes his place in that striker position. And then for the team today, for PSG, it's a 4-3-3. There's some very notable names missing for the French champions tonight. Taylor and Raphael is in goal, a back four of Kazawa on the left, Alessandro Florenzi on the right, and the defensive two centre-backs, of course, Kimpembe and Danilo Pereira. Of course, we know him usually to play a CDM position. In the midfield, we've got Idrissa Gueye and Herrera, and we've got Marquinhos, who's playing as the central defensive midfielder tonight. Expect Danilo Pereira and Marquinhos to probably swap throughout the night. And then up top, they are lacking their main players tonight. Sarabia on the left, Di Maria on the right, and Moise Kean playing up top. Now, some interesting calls today, Kieran, from both of the sides. Of course, we know there's no recognised striker today for RB Leipzig, and there is the lack of the front three for PSG. Do you think that both of those decisions might, of course, been out of the two clubs' hands, maybe cost them a little bit today?
I'll be honest, in terms of the excitement for the fixture, it's kind of added to the intrigue, really, of these two teams, because both of them have been, it's fair to say, stuttery to start this tournament so far. You know, Leipzig getting dispatched by Manchester United, and PSG as well losing to Man United. So a lot of this for these two teams has been a bit up in the air. Leipzig haven't been, the epitome of consistent. We saw them on the weekend, Josh, with our Watchalong. They got defeated. It will be strange to see these two teams, especially Leipzig, because who are they getting the ball up to? It's a group of creative midfielders. We say they haven't got any defensive midfielders, and they now don't have any strikers. So it's now 6 attacking midfielders running this Leipzig midfield. So I'm expecting plenty of chances. Who's going to finish them off? I'm not quite sure.
We're going to have to find out indeed. Game kicks off in about 6 minutes' time. Thank you very much, KL. As always, we'll come back to you in just a moment when the games do kick off indeed. So that is the first big game of the night between RB Leipzig and PSG. Just very quickly, his comments. Stage22, how you doing, buddy? He says, Ole's at the wheel. Tell me, how good does it feel? Well, I'll tell you what, if KD was in the building, he'd be very disgusted with tonight's performance. We'll talk a little bit about that, of course, maybe at half-time about these results today. Let's move on to the next game, though, because time is of the essence. The next match tonight is Club Brugge against Dortmund. Dortmund have been under the cosh in the Champions League recently, and it's a very big game tonight. And to cover this match, it is, of course, Rowan. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic as always. Here is the lineup for Club Brugge today. It's a 3-5-2 for the Belgian side. Mignolet is in goal. A back three of Clinton, Mata, Deli, and Kasunu, or Kasunau. I'm going to say it's Kasunu. I'm going to guess it's very similar to how Bunau is pronounced. Sabol, Vormer, Vanaken, Ritz, and Diatta make that midfield 5. Diatta is on the left. Sabol is on the right in terms of the wings. And then up top is Lang and Bonaventure. And then Dortmund, this is how they'll end up tonight. 4-2-3-1 for the German side. Berkey is in goal. A back four of Guerrero as the left back, Munier as the right back, two defenders in Akanji and Delaney. Defensive midfield two of Axel Witsel and Mahmoud Dahoud. Attacking three of Reina on the right, Hazard on the left, and Brandt in the middle. And then up top tonight is Erling Braut Haaland. Rowan, we said Dortmund, they're under a lot of pressure to go out there and get some results. It hasn't been a convincing start to their Champions League campaign. Just how big and how important is this match tonight for the away side?
I think it's huge because they had the embarrassing loss against Lazio, the 3-1. I'm going to say it was Dortmund weren't in it. They got a 2-0 win over Zenit. A team of Dortmund's calibre should be beating Zenit more convincingly than 2-0. And Club Brugge are not bad. They are unbeaten so far. They got, I think, was it 2-1 over Zenit and then a draw with Lazio. If you look at favourites, technically, Club Brugge should be favourites. They've won a game and drawn one. Dortmund have won and lost. I think it's very key. We know they are really. What Dortmund do is they cement for the future, and they're doing again. I was just looking then. This season, in 20 days, Yusufo Moukoko, do you know the youngster they signed from one of the things? He's eligible to play for the main team in the Bundesliga, and obviously there's re-registration after the group stage. So if they get out, they will at least have a bit more striker depth. I know he's 16, and I do. The one issue for Dortmund is when Haaland's out, they don't have that guy, really. And obviously in this game, no Sancho, very big miss. It's strange. You see Delaney there playing at centre-back, who's an actual CDM, but he's done a great job when he's played there. It'll be very interesting for the Dortmund. I know Club Brugge, they could win this. They could. And if you're a Club Brugge fan, you'd be very excited.
Very excited indeed. It should be a thrilling match. Thank you very much, Ron. We'll bring you back in a little bit. He's covering, of course, the Club Brugge Dortmund game tonight. Be interested to see how the German boys do. It has been a very intense start to their Champions League campaign. They have to get a result tonight. Let's have a quick look at the chat. Benjamin saying, Xhaka for president. Kieran, I'll be loving that in the chat. Deal of Games, hope you're good, buddies. Put F to Stapes comments about Ole being at the wheel. F to pay your respects to Manchester United in the chat, as always. And Chris has put, hi, lads, hope you're well. I'm in a fantastic mood. How are you doing, Chris? I hope you're all good, buddy, as always. Let's move on to the next game. Of course, games are kicking off in just a moment's time. Barcelona-Kiev. This is how Barcelona are lined up tonight. It's a 4-2-3-1 for the Spanish side. Marc-Andre ter Stegen is back. He is in goal today for the Spanish side. Back four of Alba. That is right. You can say Frankie de Jong is playing centre-back tonight alongside Piqué, and Serginho Dest is on the right-hand side. Defensive midfield two of Pjanic and Busquets. Attacking three of Ansu Fati. Messi is in the middle and Pedri on the left-hand side. Griezmann is playing as a striker tonight. And then this is the Kiev lineup. God help me, because these are some bloody tough names. Neshere is in goal. Back four, Shabanov, Popov, Zabayani, and Kedziora in that back four. Midfield three of Andreevsky, Shepeliev, and Bialski in the midfield. And then up top tonight, Rodriguez, Supraya, and Shigankov up top. I think he did quite well there with the names. So that is the Barcelona-Kiev game. And then we have Chelsea-Rennes, which today is going to be covered by Will. How are we doing, buddy?
Fantastic, man. How are you?
I'm good as always. This is how Chelsea are lining up today. You might be aware, of course, that Kai Havertz has unfortunately contracted COVID, so he isn't part of this squad tonight. But Mendy is in goal. Back four of Chilwell on the left, Reece James on the right, Zuma and Thiago Silva as the two centre-backs. Defensive midfield two of Kante and Jorginho. Attacking three of Werner, who's playing as a left winger tonight. Ziyech as a right winger, and Mount in the middle. And then up top tonight is Tammy Abraham. And then for Stade Rennes, it's a 4-3-3. Alfred Gomez is in goal. Back four of Dalbert, Aguilar, De Silva, and Traore. Midfield three of Lea Saliki, Nzonzi, and Boujard. And then up top tonight, Terrier, Girassi, and Gobbo. It's a big night for Rennes because they haven't really convinced in the Champions League so far. As for Chelsea, of course, big, strong side tonight. Do you think it's going to be a comprehensive win for Chelsea, or do you think Rennes might give them a good test?
Rennes need to win. I mean, they've only got 1 point from the first two games. It really is a must-win for them because, after the first three games, if you're starting on 1 point, it's going to be very, very hard, no matter what team you are to get out of the group. So they need a win. But Chelsea, if they want to do well in this competition, then Rennes is a team that they should be comfortably beating. I know Rennes going into the tournament seen as more of a dark horse team, which they are, but Chelsea have the much stronger team. They should be winning tonight, but I think Rennes will be desperate to get a win, so I think they'll give Chelsea a good game.
They should indeed. Thank you very much, Will. We'll bring you back in a little bit. Will is covering that game between Chelsea and Rennes. Benjamin has put, that's not Will, that's the Claw. Are you referring to Toy Story's Claw? The Claw. But Kyle has said, hey guys, hoping for a load of guest goals to cheer me up after that disgraceful performance from United. I think there'll be a few very disappointed Manchester United fans tonight after that performance. But let's very quickly go over the other games going on tonight. Ferencvaros Juventus. I'm going to keep my eyes on this one, I think, because we do like Ferencvaros here. We love an underdog. 4-3 for the Hungarian side today. Dibush is in goal. Back four of Botka, Diwali, Blasic, and Lovrencic. That is the back four, of course. Midfield three of Siger, Karatin, and Somalia. And then up top, they've got Tokmak, Nguyen, Israel, and Zubkov. It's the usual front three that they have been playing in this competition so far. And then Juventus also going for a 4-3-3. Szczesny is in goal. Back four of Danilo at left back, Cuadrado at right back, Chiellini and Bonucci as the two centre-backs. Midfield three of Rabiot, Artur, and Aaron Ramsey. And then up top is Chiesa on the left, Morata is the striker, and Cristiano Ronaldo, he is back for the Champions League for the first time this season at right wing. And then finally, the other game that's going on tonight, Sevilla Krasnodar, 4-3-3 today for the home side. Vashlik is in goal, back four of Escudero, Diego Carlos, Jules Koundé, and Jesus Navas. Midfield three of Rakitic, Godelj as the holding midfielder, and Joan Jordan. And then up top tonight is Munier, De Jong at the striker position, and a Campos on the right. And then Krasnodar, they're going for a 4-3-3 as well. Safanov is in goal. Chernov, Kayal, Martinovic, and Ramirez make up that back four. Midfield three of Utkin, Gazinski, and Olsen. And then up top is Sabua on the left, Suleimanov on the right, and Marcus Berg, the veteran Swede striker, is in the middle, and that makes up all of your lineups for tonight's Champions League fixtures. And we have got plenty of action to come in today's games. And you have to tell us in the chat, of course, which games are you going to be keeping your close eye out on tonight? Because there's some interesting fixtures tonight. You have to say that in comparison to yesterday, there's not really as many big mouth-watering fixtures going on, necessarily speaking. But there's some very good matches and some very surprising underdog games that we could see a couple of opportunities and maybe some shock results. So to very quickly go over once again, because of course we've had a lot to go through in this kind of first 15 minutes. I'm going to keep my eyes out on Barcelona, Kiev. I'm going to keep my eyes out on Ferencvaros Juventus, which is the main game that I'm actually watching right now, and Sevilla Krasnodar. Kieran is covering Leipzig, Paris Saint-Germain. Rowan is covering Bruges, Dortmund, and Will is covering Chelsea, Rennes. So all the games are going to be covered. If you are new to the stream, as always, do leave a like and a subscription. It's very greatly appreciated, whether you're watching this live or on the replays. We are edging towards the 1,700 subscribers mark, which is absolutely fantastic indeed. And hopefully we can get there soon. But as I said, we are underway with our games. And as I said, I'm going to keep my eyes out on Ferencvaros Juventus for now, although I might flick around the games, of course, because I've got 3 games to keep my close eye out on, which is always fantastic. It keeps me nice and busy. So, of course, we'll keep you updated as the goals do go in indeed. And in fact, there's a good early chance here for Juventus to come forward. And it's a pass from Aaron Ramsey trying to get it to Artur. Some slow football here from Juventus, just slowly building up in this game because, of course, we know Ferencvaros in their last match picked up a really good 2-2 draw in their previous game. I don't know whether they're going to be able to do it tonight. It's probably their biggest test so far. Of course, they played Barcelona, which I guess is a big test within itself. But this Juventus side not really been doing incredibly well. Lost to Barcelona, of course, last week. And the pressure is on them to go out there and get a result today against this really tough Ferencvaros side. But do tell us in the chat, which games are you watching? And hopefully we can get a few early goals. In fact, just having a look right now, Barcelona have just had their first chance of the game, and it was Ansu Fati on the left-hand side, just bombing down the pitch. The young Spaniard, of course, does really well to get past the Kiev defence, uses his pace, gets into the box, and he tries to square a ball into the path of Antoine Griezmann, who just gets a slight touch on the ball, but it's a very good save from the Dynamo Kiev goalkeeper, and it's the first chance that's gone, although they have just got a penalty, Barcelona. What a start to this game it's been, and it is the absolute right decision to give that as a penalty. It's a very, very rash tackle indeed that Kiev have given away. I'm just going to try and find out the player that has given it away here, but Messi, he's stepping up to the spot and has a chance to already put Barcelona into the lead after 5 minutes, and it was Popov who gave the tackle away, fouled Messi, right decision there from the referee. And we could have our first goal of the night. So here it is, Lionel Messi stepping up to the spot. The referee just talking to the goalkeeper, the Dynamo Kiev goalkeeper, of course. A few words to him early on in this game. And Barcelona here have a great chance to go 1-0 up after 5 minutes. Let's find out what happens here. It's Lionel Messi, of course, stepping up to the spot. Bit of pressure here on the Argentinian to get an early goal in this game. Of course, Barcelona were under the caution. He steps up to the spot, and it's a great penalty from Lionel Messi. Tucks it into that bottom right-hand corner. There is absolutely no chance that the Kiev goalkeeper is going to be able to save it. And just like that, we have our first goal on the night. 5 minutes on the clock. It's Barcelona 1, Kiev 0. And of course, it's Lionel Messi, as always, banging in the goals. And he's got his first goal of the night. 5 minutes on the clock here. This could be a rank today for Barcelona. Of course, Kiev are missing quite a few players because of COVID-19, which is a real shame for them. And it could cost them tonight against Barcelona. We did already see one Ukrainian side get a very good result against the Spanish side in, of course, Shakhtar Donetsk a few weeks ago. But with the way that this game has panned out already, it's looking like that might not happen tonight. So we'll keep our eyes out on that Barca-Kiev game if any more goals do go in that match. But let's have a quick look at the comments. Carl saying, I'm watching the Chelsea-Rennes games. Don't mind who wins. Good luck in that game. Hopefully get a few goals. And Carl's put, is Ronaldo back for Juve, or is he still in quarantine? He is now back. And we have had another goal already. Good start to the Champions League. We like to see it in the Leipzig PSG game. The question is, who scored? Kieran L.
It's Paris Saint-Germain, and it's another one a bit like yesterday, Josh. A really poor goal. Upamecano goes for the back pass, but Moise Kean picks his pocket, passes it through to Di Maria. He's only got to prod it past Galaxy, and he does the rest himself. It's a really poor goal, and it's another bad back pass.
It is a really bad back pass indeed. I'm just seeing it now, and it's just gifted straight to PSG. And, well, probably the biggest player on the pitch tonight, you have to say, Angel Di Maria. It's a big opportunity for him to show his talent off, because we know in the past he's been such an incredible player, but it's really his time to shine. And, well, it's a really, really poor goal to give away. And we're, 5 minutes into the match, and there's a lot of work for Leipzig to do already, isn't there, Kieran?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, to be fair, Leipzig had a chance earlier, literally about 2 seconds before that one, where Ander Herrera tried to pass it back to Keylor Navas, and that almost ended up at the feet of Forsberg. So if how many of these players just don't try back passes on European nights, they don't seem to be working this week.
They never tend to work indeed. Thank you very much, KL. As always, we have had another goal elsewhere. And, well, he was the man last week that just couldn't seem to get a goal into the back of the net that would count. But he's got one tonight. It is 1-0 Juventus after 7 minutes. And Alvaro Morata has a goal that's actually onside. It counts this time, and it's a through ball that is guided all the way to Cuadrado on the right wing. He's just inside of the box, and he lays a ball into the path of Cristiano Ronaldo, who backheels it. It's a really good backheel from the Portuguese forward. It's guided into the path of Alvaro Morata, who has the simplest of tap-ins, and he has a goal that counts. It won't be checked by VAR, this one, surely. And Alvaro Morata, who's got a hat-trick of disallowed goals last week, gets his name onto the score sheet. It's 1-0 to Juventus. What a start to this match, and what a start to the Leipzig PSG game, because we are going to get to Kieran in a second, because we have a check for this goal. And it's a very quick check. It is going to count. It will stay 1-0 to Juventus there, but I'm pretty sure Morata might have had a shitty arse there for a moment, thinking that he was going to have a fourth goal disallowed. But let's go over to Kieran L now, because we have had another chance in that game between Leipzig and PSG. But who's it to, Kieran?
It has to be 1-1. I have no idea how they've not scored. It's down the right-hand side. It's Mukiele making a breaking run. He drills it across the box. Kimpembe misses it. Haidara's there. His point-blank shot is saved by Keylor Navas, but the rebound falls to Angelino, and he's been in great goal-scoring form in the Champions League. He hits it, and it's an unbelievable block by Florenzi. Navas was there as well, so I think it could have been a double save, but I don't know how it's not 1-1, and Leipzig will rue that missed opportunity, definitely.
There was certainly rue it indeed. Thank you very much, KL. We have a penalty at Sevilla Krasnodar, and it's a really shocking tackle in this game. Shapi just fouls Gadelj in the box. The referee points straight to the spot here. And in fact, it looks like it's just going to be checked very quickly. I think that's a penalty. And I don't know why they're checking this one over, but they will just make sure here that it's a penalty. Seeing the replay now, once again, just looking at it, I think that's a penalty, to be honest. I'm very surprised that it hasn't been given. But we have also got another penalty elsewhere. Referee's going to the monitor in this one between Sevilla and Krasnodar. So while he goes to the monitor, Will is covering Chelsea Rennes. Who's got a penalty, Will?
Penalty to Chelsea, and Timo Werner was brought down the box. Clumsy tackle from the Rennes defender. He dives in, and Werner, you can tell he's waiting for it. He's playing for it, and he goes down. And the penalty's been given. It's 10 minutes in here. Chelsea have been the better side, without a doubt. They're pressing Rennes, and they're forcing him into mistakes. And Timo Werner will take the penalty, and he just the referee just telling the goalkeeper not to jump off his line. Timo Werner.
It's the right decision.
Yeah, definitely the right decision. And he scores. The keeper dives the right way, but Timo Werner puts it into the keeper's right-hand side. 1-0 Chelsea after 10 minutes. They've been the better side, and I won't be surprised if we get 2 or 3 more here.
Thank you very much indeed, Will. It is 1-0 to Chelsea. What a start for Chelsea tonight. Tucked into the back of the net. It's a really good finish from Timo Werner. It was definitely a penalty in this game, and just kind of looking at this penalty now to see for myself, I will have a look at that. The VAR review is still going on between Sevilla and Krasnodar right now. We're just waiting to see whether this is going to be given as a penalty or not, taking their time in that game. But of course, as we said a moment ago, Chelsea 1-0 up in this game against Rennes, and it was a really good finish from Timo Werner. Tucks it into that bottom left-hand corner, and it's the simplest of finishes for the German, who's playing on the left wing today. A little bit of a different position. Of course, he has played it in the past, but he's playing there on the left wing, and it is 1-0 to Chelsea. Now, we're just looking at the Sevilla-Krasnodar game right now. It looks like it isn't going to be given as a penalty. And the referee has decided no penalty in that Sevilla-Krasnodar game. And they were actually looking for a handball rather than a tackle. There was 2 incidents going on the box here, and it was more of a handball on one of the Krasnodar players, and it hasn't been given in the end. So no penalty for Sevilla in that match. It stays 0-0 as it currently stands. But it's a very good start to the night across the board. We've nearly had goals in every single game after 10 minutes, and that's what we like to see. It keeps you nice and busy and on the go in terms of all of the opportunities and chances. And we've had a very good chance for Ferencvaros to equalise in this game. And I have to say, we're only 10 minutes into this. It's been a very bright start indeed. And Ferencvaros, a side that have had a lot of hunger and desire to go out there and attack in these games, very nearly made it 1-1. And it was actually a very good attack indeed. It was Israel on the right-hand side for Ferencvaros, blitzing down that right-hand side. He tries to lay a ball into Tokmak Nguyen, who's inside of the box, takes the shot on first time. It's just wide of the post, just wide of the goal. And we were very nearly saying Ferencvaros we're back into this game against Juventus, and just look at the conditions right now. It's a very wet night in Hungary, and will Juventus be able to hold on? We'll have to find out indeed. But let's have a quick look at the comments. Sasha's in the stream. He says, hello, how are you guys? No VAR this time. I hope you're all good as always. Sasha, nice to see a few of the regulars back in the stream as always. And so far, as it currently stands on the night, we're about to get towards the 15th minute mark in some of these games. It is currently 1-0 to Barcelona against Kiev, 1-0 to Chelsea against Rennes, 0-0 between Bruges and Dortmund, Ferencvaros 1-0 down to Juventus, PSG 1-0 up against RB Leipzig, and Sevilla 0, Krasnodar 0. And I'm going to go to Rowan because there's already been an early substitution in his game between Bruges and Dortmund. Is it something serious, Rowan?
Well, normally when we do subs, we normally just do sub, player name on, player name off. I couldn't do this because I don't know the fourth official's name. The referee has come off due to an injury, and now the fourth official is on reffing the game. And little update, this game's been boring. Club Bruges had a little bit of a chance to score. Diatta doing incredible on the wing, just spinning, turning, gets the ball in, and it's cleared by Thorgan Hazard, who was on the floor. But yeah, fourth official change.
Thank you very much, Rowan. That's as good as it gets right now.
Yeah.
Hopefully it gets better soon. Thank you very much, Rowan. That is something you don't see very often. A fourth official change there, of course. That's the referee coming off, fourth official having to come on. And yeah, that's probably as good as the Bruges Dortmund game gets right now. But we've had a big chance in the Barcelona-Kiev game, and it was very nearly 2-0 to Barcelona in this match. And it was a shot hit off the post from Lionel Messi, a man who has been very, very hungry indeed. That was a couple of minutes ago, and they've had chances aplenty. But we're actually going to go back to Rowan because there's been a goal out of nowhere. Rowan, who's it to?
It's to Borussia Dortmund. So I was just quickly putting my hoodie away, and I was looking at my screen. I could see Thorgan Hazard's put the ball in the back of the net. And I think it's a defensive mistake here. I'll tell you what's to highlight. I think it's a Mignolet mistake. Guerrero plays a lovely ball down through to the side.
Oh,
Delaney, who ends up being Delaney pushed himself to near the left side, puts a lovely ball in, and Mignolet leaps out, gets hand to it, but just doesn't clear it. And I think it's Akanji completely misses the ball. Someone misses the ball completely, but it falls straight to Thorgan Hazard. All he's just do is putting it in open next. Mignolet's come out and he's tried to punch it, but he's just slapped it into the path of Thorgan Hazard. That's not good from Mignolet there. Poor keeper.
No,
1-0
I'm just seeing it. I'm just seeing it right now when he just gets the slightest of touches and Dele goes to clear the ball away. As you said, completely mishits it and doesn't get a connection on the ball. And it's just a simple finish. And you have to say, in that respect, looking at it, it's a really, really poor mistake from Mignolet. And there'll be a few Liverpool fans who'll know of mistakes from Mignolet before.
Well, I think Mignolet could have done so much, but I don't think it isn't even the centre-back's fault. But I'll go.
We have had another opportunity as well. Thank you very much, Ron. Of course, Dortmund 1-0 because we have a penalty between Leipzig and Paris Saint-Germain. Who's it to? Keep it down.
Penalty to Paris Saint-Germain. And Upamecano is having a horror show. It is on him. It is a handball. His arm is extended away from his body, but he is going to block the ball, and it connects with him just about here. So I'll give you the visual representation, and the viewers can decide whether they think it's a pen or not. It's going to get given. No VAR check or anything. They're just telling Galaxy to stay on his line. It was a great ball over the top by Sarabia. Great control by Moise Kean, who took a shot, and it just connected with Upamecano when his arm was there to block the shot away from his body. So I guess that's justifiable. But Galaxy has got to be the hero now because this leaves a mountain to climb. Di Maria is going to step up to the spot, takes the run up, and he's saved by Galaxy. The rebound header has been missed as well because it's caught by Galaxy. Drama here. It stays 1-0.
Thank you very much, KL. Well, Di Maria had a chance to get a double salvo against RB Leipzig there with a penalty, and he's missed it, which is absolutely unbelievable. But there has been a goal elsewhere, and it could be the shock of the night. And what a goal this is. It's an incredible finish from Shapi, which means in that game, you're probably wondering, who does Shapi play for? He plays for Krasnodar. It's 1-0 to Krasnodar, and it's a free kick from just outside of the box. I would say about 25 metres out from goal. And it's a really good free kick from Shapi. He guides it into that top left-hand corner. There is no chance that any keeper in the world would be able to save it. It's an absolutely exceptional free kick from the player. He puts it into that top right-hand corner. And just like that on the night, Krasnodar have taken a 1-0 lead against the Europa League winners in Sevilla. And we talked earlier about Sevilla potentially having a penalty in their game. It wasn't given. Krasnodar have got up the other end. Only a few minutes later, got a goal, 1-0 to Krasnodar. And it's fantastic to see indeed. Of course, the Russians who got originally through into the playoffs won their playoff fixtures, which we watched quite a bit with myself and Rowan, of course, throughout that Champions League playoff games a few weeks ago. And Krasnodar are leading in this game. And what a start for them. 18 minutes on the clock. It is Sevilla 0. Krasnodar 1. Could they be the shock of the night? We will have to find out indeed. But we're going to go back to Rowan because there has been a chance in this game between Bruges and Dortmund. Who's had the chance, Rowan?
It's Dortmund again, and it's not really a chance. It's another mistake from Club Brugge. This time it was, hold up, it's going to be the gap. It's Kosunu. And what he does is, Guerrero is running down the wing, he falls. The ball look like it's just going down the wing. Kosunu comes across. And completely an awful touch. Hadland nearly latches onto Vissel back post. Vissel has it across. Oh, off keeper saved, and it's a goal. It's a goal for Dortmund, and it's from that mistake from Kosunu. Kosunu, poor touch. Haaland gets onto it. Then Kosunu actually does incredible well. Gets in front of Haaland, makes a stop. Corner comes in. Vissel back post heads it across. Haaland's header saved by Mignolet. Really good second save, but falls straight back to the path. He couldn't hold it for straws. Falls straight back to the path of Mignolet, and it's put back in the net. 2-0 Borussia Dortmund. This is what you want to see from this German side, getting goals in the first half.
You do indeed. Thank you very much, Rowan. Dortmund are flying indeed. We talked about the side being under pressure to go out there and get a result, and they are certainly shining in this first 20 minutes. 2-0 up to the good and two very poor mistakes from Bruges. But We have to go back to the Sevilla Krasnodar game because it is getting very, very lively. We have a penalty shout for Krasnodar that has been given as a penalty, and it is the right decision from the referee. It was checked by VAR, and we talked a moment ago. There was a goal that was given to Krasnodar. It was a really good free kick from Shapi, and it's Jules Koundé who's given away a penalty. It was checked up by VAR. The referee went to the monitor. In my opinion, it's the right decision. And Krasnodar have a chance to go 2-0 up after 20 minutes on the clock. Can they do it? We'll have to find out in a second here. So Vashlik is the goalkeeper. Marcus Berg is the man taking it. And he has a massive chance here to put Krasnodar 2 to the good after 20 minutes on the clock. He's a good veteran player, Marcus Berg. He steps up to the spot and he puts it into the back of the net. It's Krasnodar 2, Sevilla 0, and we could have a major, major shock on our hands tonight in the Champions League. They're 2-0 up after 20 minutes, and the Russians are dominating this game with chances and a massive opportunity for their first 3 points on the board. And it was a lovely penalty from Marcus Berg. He puts it into the bottom left-hand corner, and Vashlik, he guesses the right way, but just dives a little bit too late, and there's just enough power on the striker. On the strike from Marcus Berg. It's Krasnodar 2, Sevilla 0. What a game of football we've got between these two sides. Of course, Krasnodar, we said tonight we could have a few shocks on our hands, and Krasnodar are certainly delivering with 2 goals in 3 minutes. Fantastic start to the action tonight in the Champions League. It's continuing on from the drama of yesterday. Plenty of goals across the board, and every game has had a goal in it already, which is fantastic after 20 minutes, which is very similar, of course, to what we had yesterday. I'm going to have to stay with the Sevilla game here because already on the counter-attack, there's a ball lofted towards Luke de Jong, who tries to hit it on the half volley, and eventually it's cleared away by Krasnodar, and it's a very electric start indeed to this match between the two sides. And I've got to update there because, of course, it is 2-0 to Krasnodar. But let's have a quick look at the comments. Sasha saying, come on, Juve, of course, trying to spur on the Juventus side. And I have to say, within this first kind of 20 minutes of this match, they're doing very, very good indeed, Ferencvaros. They've had a good few little opportunities on goal, nothing really too major to scream and shout about, necessarily speaking, hence why I've not really talked about this game a great deal. But they are trying their very best in this match to get themselves a goal. And we've spoke before about teams going out there and trying their all, trying to get a result in the Champions League. And we saw yesterday Midtjylland put up a very good performance, didn't get a result in the end, unfortunately. Ferencvaros got a result last week, a 2-2 draw. Ultimately, trying to hope that I can get something against Juventus tonight. And they've done very well indeed so far, but 20 minutes on the clock, still plenty of time for Juventus to maybe score a few more. But just having a look right now in the chat, see what's going on. There was a yellow card in the PSG Leipzig game. Kimpembe has got himself a yellow card in this game. And Rose actually chucked quite an interesting fact in the chat. Marseille are the only club in the Champions League this season not to have scored a goal. And, well, they had a fair few chances last night in their game against Porto. It didn't take any. In fact, they didn't have a shot on target. So we could be waiting a little while for Marseille to get their first goal. But it's been fantastic so far, the Champions League. Really, really good games across the board. It kind of has just got better as the competition has gone on. And, well, we love Champions League nights because it certainly does bring a real plethora of goals. And, of course, we've had plenty delivered so far because we're about to edge towards the 25th minute mark of the majority of games as it currently stands. Barcelona are 1-0 up against Dinamo Kiev. The first goal of the night came from Lionel Messi in the 5th minute. It was a penalty that was given away by Dinamo Kiev. There was another penalty elsewhere. Chelsea 1-0 up against Stade Rennes. Timo Werner was fouled in the box, and Timo Werner slotted the ball into the back of the net to put Chelsea into the lead. Borussia Dortmund are 2-0 to good after 2 really poor mistakes at the back from Club Brugge, gifting the German side 2 important goals that they desperately need if they want to try and get out of their Champions League group position towards the bottom end of the table. Ferencvaros still 1-0 down to Juventus. They have had a fairly decent performance so far, but Juventus with a goal from Morata. Leipzig 1-0 down to Paris Saint-Germain. They did have a penalty PSG, which was saved by Galacki, and Krasnodar 2-0 to the good against Sevilla. Could that be the shock result of the night? But we are going to go to Rowan because there has been a chance in this game between Brugge and Dortmund. Are Brugge getting back into this game, or is it another Dortmund chance, Rowan?
It's Brugge. Brugge have actually had a thing, and it was lovely. It was I don't know I think that's Former plays the ball through to Vanaken. Vanaken just turns and has a lovely shot. Roman Berkey. Berkey does well to dive to the right, and then it's Diatti on the wing. Lets one rip immediately, but Mounier just steps in front of the thing. But brighter signs from Club Brugge here.
Very good signs indeed. They're going to have to try and push to get back in this game. We saw in your game last night, Midtjylland, they tried their very best and they couldn't do it. It's going to be a lot harder tonight for Bruges. Thank you very much, Rowan, as always. It sounds like a very good game so far. We're getting some very good games, actually, specifically in this match day 3. There's been a lot of really good matches with plenty of goals. And as you can see as well, as I'm going to very quickly change the time, of course, as we edge towards the 25th minute, there was 2 games that went on earlier today. Of course, the early kickoffs across the board in the Champions League. And it was certainly a shocking result for Manchester United. 2-1 loss to Istanbul Basaksehir here. And if you haven't seen the first goal that was scored by Demba Ba, it was a really, really poor bit of defensive play from Manchester United. Really high line from the away side. And Istanbul Basaksehir come out with a fantastic result. But they're in here. Oh, Ferencvaros nearly had a chance to score. And it was Tokmak Nguyen inside of the box. And that had to be put into the top right-hand corner. And Keeley, he's fuming with his back line because it's just a very, very simple ball indeed that is driven by Lovrencic into the box. Is guided towards Nguyen, who takes the strike on. He just misses the mark, and it has to be, in my opinion, 1-1 to Ferencvaros. But a really good chance, and once again, they're trying their very best indeed. We have had a yellow card in the Leipzig PSG game, and a lot of offenders going into the book, in fact, in this match already. Yellow card going to Canate. Very feisty game, Kieran has said so far. Of course, plenty of yellow cards. Already seen Upamecano going to the book for a handball. Kanate's gone into the book as well. And we've also had Kimpembe as well. So very feisty game indeed in terms of cards. Hopefully a few more goals in that one. But of course, we'll go back to that game against Manchester United. Really, really poor result. And I think there'll be a lot of fans questioning Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It was a very questionable defensive backline in terms of how high they were up the pitch. I don't know why there were so many players pushed up towards the attacking phase of play. And well, Istanbul, they come out with a fantastic 2-1 victory against Manchester United. And as I said, there will be questions asked over Ole. Very disappointing result indeed for Manchester United, considering they won their last 2 against PSG and Leipzig, and they couldn't beat Istanbul Basaksehir. But good result for the Turkish side, of course. They will be trying desperately to push, I would assume, to get a Europa League spot, because they probably know that they're not going to get out. But you can never say never. Last year, we had Atalanta scrape an incredible result in their last 3 fixtures to make it through to the group stages. Who says it can't happen again? Of course, we'll have to find out indeed and see what happens. Rowan has just said Witsel and Delaney have switched their game. A few tactical tweaks across the board in the matches today. Of course, Dortmund still 2-0 up in their fixture against Club Brugge. And then there was another game a little bit earlier on that was going on. Zenit 1, Lazio 1. Of course, Lazio missing a few players tonight. I'm going to stop for a second, though, because Ferencvaros are coming forward here. Lovrencic's trying to loft a ball into the box towards Israel. It's a very powerful effort, but it's cleared away in the end. But the other game that went on, Zenit Lazio, of course, Lazio missing a fair whack of players once again because of COVID. They did have a few players back midweek in their Serie A game, which they won 4-3 when they shouldn't have technically had players back, which means they are getting investigated. And of course, today they had to play it safe. A few big players like Luis Alberto and Immobile were missing, and it kind of cost them tonight because Zenit come out with a very, very good point indeed against Lazio, where a 1-1 draw, and the Russians will be very happy that they've got a Champions League point onto the board against a very good Lazio side. Although Lazio did claim a 82nd minute equaliser from Felipe Caicedo to salvage them a point in the Champions League group stages. So 2 very interesting games indeed. I think both the away sides will be very disappointed, and both the home sides will be absolutely delighted at their result indeed. And of course, looking across the board tonight, a lot of the home sides currently losing. Of course, Sevilla right now, 2-0 down to Krasnodar. Is an electric start for the Russians. In fact, it's been a fantastic week in Champions League football for Russian sides so far. Of course, we saw Lokomotiv Moscow get an incredible result against Atletico Madrid yesterday. Zenit getting a good result against Lazio. And now it looks like there could be a potential chance for Krasnodar to beat the Europa League winners. Currently 2-0 up in that game. Of course, PSG still 1-0 up against RB Leipzig. There was a missed penalty from Angel Di Maria, which could bite them, could come back to bite them in the end. But of course, they are still 1-0 up. And then, of course, we've got my game currently between Ferencvaros and Juventus. That is the kind of main game I'm keeping my eye out on tonight. And Juventus haven't really had many chances, to be quite honest with you. It's been a very tight game indeed. And Ferencvaros doing incredibly well in this game to try and hold their line and really go at this Juventus side. In fact, looking at the stats right now, Ferencvaros have had 6 shots, unfortunately none on target. Juventus have had 5 shots free on target, and they've had 59% possession. So, of course, Juventus dominating the game a little bit more as you would expect, but not as many chances as some people may think in terms of this Juventus side. Although they're coming forward here, it's a ball that's going to be lofted into the box from Danilo, trying to guide it towards the path of Chiesa, who does get a touch. And, well, it's a very awkward touch indeed because he doesn't get any connection on the ball to take a shot, and it trickles into the path of the Ferencvaros goalkeeper, Debuj. So very lucky there for Chiesa. But just having a quick look at the comments right now. Carl Madison says, do you know who's the manager of Juve? It is Andrea Pirlo, and currently is the manager of Juventus. And I do have to say, to be honest, I think if you're looking at it from an outside perspective right now with Juventus, I think there'll be a few people who will be a little bit worried with Andrea Pirlo and how Juve have started. They weren't necessarily convincing in that game against Barcelona, although they did score 3 goals that were disallowed. So far in this game, they've been okay. I wouldn't say they've been anything special. And in the Serie A, of course, you would expect them to be at the top of the table, but they're just a few places down from that top spot. But it's been a very slow start under Andrea Pirlo so far, and I think it will slowly build up over time. Of course, you can't expect a manager to just come in instantly and make things click like that, especially with how poor they were with Maurizio Sarri towards the back end of last season. So it's a working project right now for Juventus. And of course, they missed Ronaldo over these last couple of weeks, which I have to say, he did get that back heel assist for the first goal. But he's been a little bit quiet tonight so far. But Ferencvaros doing very well indeed. And as it currently stands, it is still 1-0 as we edge towards around the half an hour mark across the board in the majority of the game tonight. And it's gone a little bit quiet now, which is, of course, always nice to have a moment to just take a breather and to see what happens. And of course, we'll keep you up to date with some of the other games because we have got a chance in the Krasnodar game. It's Sevilla coming forward on the right-hand side. Is Muniz just flicked onto that right-hand position for now. Lofts the ball into the box. De Jong lays the ball off into the path of Ivan Rakitic, who's just outside the box, takes the shot on the volley and just rises above the bar for Krasnodar. Although I do think the goalkeeper's got a slight touch, so we might get a corner here for Sevilla. Just have a look at the replay now. There will be a corner indeed for Sevilla. Question is, can they make the most of this opportunity? Because they need to get back into this game. But while they take that corner, there has been a goal in that game between Dortmund and Bruges. Is it 3-0 to Dortmund, Rowan, or is it 2-1?
It's 3. And it's that man again. It's Erling Haaland. And it's really unselfish by Thomas Meunier. So they taxed off with Raphael Guerreiro playing a lovely ball down to the wing. And I don't know who plays the initial ball. I think it's Mahoud. It's Dahoud plays a lovely ball cutting through the Club Bruges the back line. Meunier, really unselfish, could have tried to poke it away himself. Instead, just squares it straight across to Erling Haaland. Haaland has a shot. I think it's deflected, but it is headed straight in the back of the net. And it's 3-0 to Dortmund. And yeah, this can get a lot worse. Dortmund are really finding the form. Dahoud having a great game. Guerreiro having a great game as well.
And it's the perfect time for him to click. And the ball that is, lofted into the path of Meunier is absolutely incredible. It is Dahoud indeed. That is an absolutely exceptional assist.
He's a man who I think people laugh. A lot of people, English fans that like Dortmund, that keep an eye on things like Dahoud. When you look at Dortmund's like midfield thing, he's been playing very well for Dortmund in the past couple of games, and he's just proved it out with an incredible assist.
He has indeed. It's a quality assist indeed, and Dortmund are running riot. Yeah. It's 3-0, and as you said, Rowan, this could get feisty. We saw last night Liverpool dismantle Atalanta for 5. Shakhtar were dismantled for 6. Do you think we could see some of the similar tonight in terms of the scoreline?
I don't know, because Bruges have knocked on Dortmund's door a bit, but Dortmund have held well. Akanji and Delaney and Bitzel sort of rotating in and out with each other have defended well, but anything can happen. But I see a Dortmund win. I'm not going to jinx it. I'm not going to jinx it by saying they're going to get a thrashing.
We'll have to find out indeed. Thank you very much, Rowan, as always. 3-0 to Dortmund. They are on fire right now in this game, dominating the match. And, well, it's been a very good game indeed so far. Rowan getting plenty of goals tonight, which he can't complain about because he had plenty of goals yesterday. He's had a fantastic match day in terms of goals going into the back of the net. 3 yesterday. He's got 3 already tonight after half an hour. Of course, we'll have to see what happens across the board tonight with the rest of the fixture because as it currently stands right now, they are absolutely flying in that match against Bruges, and there could be opportunities for a few more goals, but we'll have to find out indeed. 3-0 to Dortmund. Let me just check. I have updated it indeed, so we are all good. We had a free kick a moment ago for Ferencvaros. It was in quite a decent position, although it looks like it could be a good chance here for Juventus to make it 2-0. There's a ball that's been laid into the path of Alvaro Morata, and somehow Juventus have not made it 2-0. And while it was a gift of an opportunity for the away side, it was a mistake at the back for Ferencvaros, and somehow Juventus haven't been able to put the ball into the back of the net. The goalkeeper does very well there. It is Debuge who just stops a potential chance. And it looks like it was the ball from Chiesa trying to loft it into the back of the net. Really good work from Debuge to just be able to stop the ball from rolling into that back of the net, making it 2-0. And Ferencvaros fight on and live another day in this game against Juventus. Of course, we will expect a few more opportunities in this game for Juventus to come forward, especially when you have a player like Cristiano Ronaldo on the pitch doing what Cristiano Ronaldo does best and producing incredible passes and incredible opportunities. But 35 minutes on the clock here, still Juventus 1, Ferencvaros 0. And I will say that when the next goal does go in, I am going to have to turn my heating off because I'm absolutely roasted in this room right now. Usually I don't have the heating on. I am absolutely sweltering indeed. But we have got a corner here for Juventus. Aaron Ramsey is going to step up and take this corner. Of course, he has been a little bit quiet in his time at Juventus so far, but could he maybe get an assist to his name? We will have to find out indeed. So the ball is going to be lofted into the box here by Aaron Ramsey. He's actually going to play it short, in fact. Ball's played back to Ramsey. And somehow he's got into the path of Alvaro Morata. And I was about to say it was an absolutely awful taken corner. It didn't seem like anybody wanted to loft the ball into the box. Eventually, it looked like Artur was the player that guided the ball into the box. It landed at the feet of Alvaro Morata, but he just takes a little bit of a heavy touch, the Spaniard. And Debuge is able to just make sure that the ball doesn't go into the back of the net. And it's a very decent opportunity for Juventus, although I have to say it was a very poorly worked corner. I don't think they'll be playing any more corners short anytime soon after that really poor display there. But very nearly ended up with a 2-0, so it kind of did work to a certain extent, but as it currently stands, still stays Juventus 1, Ferencvaros 0 for now. And just seeing the opportunity earlier, a really, really good chance for Juventus to put the ball into the back of the net, and it was just really good defending at the back from Ferencvaros. But we have had a yellow card in the game between Leipzig and PSG. Idrissa Gueye has gone into the book in that match. So yellow card there, and we're getting a few more cards in that match. It's been a very feisty one indeed, just a shame that doesn't translate to goals. So it currently stands right now, about 35 minutes on the clock. I'm just going to put 40 for now because we are getting a little bit close to that time. As it currently stands, Barcelona still only 1-0 up against Kiev, which still means that Kiev are well and truly in that game. They could get back into it as things currently stand. But of course, at half-time, we'll look through the statistics. We'll talk with the boys about their games, and we'll talk analysis-wise in terms of stats and things like that and see how these teams are doing. It's been very quiet so far. We talked to Will earlier on in his game. Chelsea were 1-0 up against Stade Rennes, courtesy of Timo Werner. And nothing's really happened so far in that since the penalty. 1-0 as it currently stands. Dortmund, match of the night so far, 3-0 up against Club Brugge. It has certainly been a very good game indeed between these two sides. Of course, Dortmund dominating. But we are going to come back in a second because there has been a goal that has been given as offside. The question is, who was the goal for? And is it the right decision?
It was to PSG. And yes, it was entirely the right decision. However, I forgot about the rule where, the linesman's not allowed to flag unless, wait till the end of it. So Di Maria did chip the keeper, but for his whole run, I'm going, he's miles off. He's miles off. And then you start questioning yourself when they put the ball in the net and nothing's happened. But then the flag was raised. It was Moise Kean tracking back really well. Went to Ander Herrera. They tried to do a bit like, what Besiktas here did. Hit him with a long ball, but Di Maria was just outside his own half, in front of the final defender. But I just didn't think the flag was ever coming, to be honest. And he slotted it past Galaxy, but could have had 3, Di Maria.
He really could have had a free. Thank you very much, KL. And well, it's been a bit of a crazy night so far. I hate that decision. The fact that the linesman isn't allowed to put his flag up until after the opportunity's been made. It's so annoying. And the amount of times this season, if you're regular on the Sports Corner, you'll know where we've got excited when a goal's been given as offside. It is frustrating. Get rid of the rule. It's shit. But we have had a decision in one of the games. Chelsea-Rennes, there has been a VAR check for a potential penalty. Let's just go over to Will and find out what's happening. It's been a while, Will. What's been going on?
Yeah, it's a VAR check for a potential penalty for Chelsea. It's been going. They've been checking it now for a good 3 minutes, I'd say. First, the referee waved it straight off, said it wasn't a penalty. Then it got checked by the officials higher up, and now the referee's going to go look over at the screen, and he's just going to make his decision here. Let's see what he says. He's given the penalty, and you know what? I don't think it's a penalty. Tammy Abraham strikes the ball. It comes off the knee of the Rennes defender, and as it hits his knee, it flies up and hits his arm. Now, his arm is in an unnatural position, but it's hit his knee first and bounced up. It's not hit his arm straight on, and he's even been given a second yellow card, and he's been sent off.
I think that's incredibly harsh.
Crazy. I think that's incredibly harsh on Rennes, to be honest. I said they started poorly, and it's Dalber. Yeah, he's second yellow card. He's been sent off. So Rennes down to 10 men. I said the first 10 minutes Chelsea dominated. Rennes have definitely calmed it down here, and they've started pressing Chelsea a bit more. And they've had a few minor chances, but nothing too major. But now they're down to 10 men, 5 minutes to go till half time. And Chelsea have got a penalty to try and make it 2-0. Yeah, incredibly harsh in my opinion, because it hits his knee first and it kind of ricochets onto his arm. I don't know how they expect him to move his arm out of the way. You know what I mean? But we'll see
it's an interesting decision because obviously I'm just seeing it now in terms of the yellow card. Of course, Rennes now down to 10 men. I don't know if he said anything to the referee in that situation, which has caused him to get the second yellow. But when you actually look at the penalty, it's a dubious one.
Smashed in. Penalty smashed into the top corner by Timo Werner, and it's 2-0 Chelsea. Surprised Jorginho didn't take it, but Werner now he's on a hat-trick. He's got 2 goals in this game. 2 from the penalty spot. Rennes are going to be going into half-time disgusted, really.
I think there's going to be a few questions asked. Thank you very much, Will. As always, very questionable decision, that game between Chelsea and Rennes. Rennes down to 10 men from what is a very questionable decision to send off Dalbert in that game. But we have had a goal elsewhere. And my lord, we have a game on our hands between Sevilla and Krasnodar. It is 2-1. They're back into the game, Sevilla, and it's Ivan Rakitic with the header. Well, it's something that you don't usually expect from the Croatian. You'd expect it to be Luke de Jong in that situation, but it's a ball lofted into the box from Joe Jordan on the right-hand side of the pitch. Is guided towards Ivan Rakitic. The Croatian gets his head onto the ball. He's put into the back of the net. And, of course, it's 2-1. Game on in that match between Sevilla and Krasnodar. And we have had a goal elsewhere as well. As it currently stands, there's been a goal. Leipzig PSG. Is it 2-0 to PSG, Kieran? Or are Leipzig back in it?
It's game on here as well. It's 1-1. Leipzig have scored, and it's a familiar face to Paris Saint-Germain fans. Christopher Nkunku has put Leipzig level. It's a lovely strike from just inside the D on the edge of the box. Angelino squared it to him. One touch to get it out his feet, and then he lashes it across the keeper into the bottom right-hand corner of Keylor Navas's goal. But before that happened, Josh, we had a second disallowed goal for PSG. And you couldn't get to me in time. That's okay. There's been goals elsewhere. But again, another missed chance for PSG. And Leipzig go up the other end. And with kind of their first opportunity, it's 1-1.
What game indeed. You certainly got a game in your hands once again, Ian. I'm just seeing the finish right now, of course. It's a really good low-driven shot into the back of the net from Christopher Nkunku, of course, a player in the past that PSG fans will know. And he's just got so much better since he's moved on from the club, moved to Germany, really made a name for himself. And you have to say, do you think PSG were missing him? Because he was a really good player. And I think now, when you look at this PSG side, do you think he could have been a player that fitted PSG system?
Well, he's definitely the type of player that you'll miss at any point just for squad depth reasons. You know, he has got 14 assists last year in the Bundesliga. However, in terms of the system that PSG have got right now, if you look at that midfield, Herrera, Gay, Marquinhos, they're very different players to the likes of Christopher Nkunku. But to change a game, I think they'd really need him. But in terms of the starting 11, I'm much happier with him RB Leipzig. And I think Leipzig fans will be too after that lovely finish there.
I think they will indeed. Thank you very much, KL. RB Leipzig back into the game. It's 1-1 between the two sides. Of course, the two teams that faced off in the Champions League semi-final where PSG dismantled RB Leipzig. But this game has been much closer than you would expect. Of course, PSG missing a few players tonight. RB Leipzig playing without a striker, and it seems to be working so far. Currently 1-1 in that game. Of course, we spoke a moment ago to Will, 2-0 to Chelsea in that game. There was a penalty that was given against Rennes. Dalbert with a very questionable decision for the referee to give a penalty and a second yellow to the Brazilian fullback, and he got sent off, which is a pretty poor decision in my eyes. But Chelsea now have got the extra man advantage. They've got 2 goals. As Will said, Timo Werner is on for a hat-trick, and that one could get a little bit feisty in the second half. We have seen Rennes already have a few disappointing results. It looks like tonight could be another one of those nights. And then we spoke a moment ago, of course, Sevilla 1, Krasnodar 2. This game is well and truly on, and Sevilla are on the attack here in this game, and they desperately want to try and get a equalising goal back just before half-time and really make Krasnodar work hard for things. Of course, we know how well this Sevilla side can play on their day, and there's a ball lofted into the box. Acrobatic effort from, of all people, Diego Carlos, and he just misses the ball. It doesn't get a connection on it, and eventually it is cleared away by Krasnodar. But we have had a chance in that game between Leipzig and PSG. It's getting feisty. Who's had that chance, Kale?
It's RB Leipzig, and they are ending the half very well. They were not in the game for the opening half an hour, I'd say. Now they're starting to find their feet. Great interchangeable movement between the front three of Forsberg and Kunku and Dani Olmo. It's Forsberg who picks up the ball and he squares it to Dani Olmo, about where Christopher Nkunku scored, a bit further out maybe. He lashes at the ball. It's hit perfectly, but it's just over the crossbar. And I thought it was going to rattle the back of the net, but sadly it did not. A good long-range effort. And if you're PSG, you just need to start closing these players down because they are all attacking midfielders, but they can all hit them from range.
They've done very good indeed. Thank you very much, Kyle. As always, still currently 1-1 between Leipzig and Paris Saint-Germain. We are now reaching the stage of half-time. Let's have a quick look at the your questions and things in the chat. Of course, do tell us as always in the chat which game you're watching. Kyle's put this: ref is crap, not a pen. Came off leg, then arm. Ran down to 10. Changed my mind. All VAR is crap. Sorry about the language. No, to be honest, it's an absolutely terrible decision. You know, we've just talked about it a moment ago with Will, and it's something we will actually talk about in a moment's time when we do get to half-time across the board. It's a very awful decision from the referee in this game. And Cal's put the handball rule is rubbish. It needs changing. Otherwise, football will die with poor decisions from referees. Of course, I agree with you on that one. But we are getting to half-time across the board now. Half-time between Ferencvaros and Juventus, 1-0 to Juventus in this game. Although I have to say, Ferencvaros have done quite well. They've had a few little chances in this match and have kept Juventus at bay for the majority of the game. It is also half-time between Leipzig and PSG. This one hasn't been short of opportunities at all. PSG opened the scoring early on. It was Angel Di Maria with the first goal of the game. He then had a chance to make it 2-0 to PSG. Unfortunately for him, he missed the penalty. Really good save from Galacki to push it away from his goal. And then we had another chance where Di Maria could have had a hat-trick, but he was offside, of course, miles offside in this situation. And then RB Leipzig just a moment ago getting an equalising goal. Christopher Nkunku with a really nice finish against his former side. Means that one is well and truly still on for the next couple of, for the next 45, of course. Be interested to see what happens in that game. And we've still got a few matches also going on in the background. Barca Kiev is at half-time as well. Barcelona 1-0 up courtesy of a Messi penalty in the 5th minute of that match. But Kiev doing very well indeed to hold on in this game. We will have a look at the statistics of the matches in just a moment's time. We are at half-time as well of the game between Bruges and Dortmund. Dortmund with a fantastic performance in the first half. 3 goals from the German side. Club Bruges with a lot of mistakes tonight means that it looks like that could be turning into a battering. And Sevilla Krasnodar is still going on here. And Krasnodar, I've had an opportunity to go through on goal. A player's been fouled in the box, and I don't know whether here we're going to get a penalty for Krasnodar just before half-time. And, well, it looked like it was going to be a really good opportunity for Krasnodar to come forward here, and I just want to make sure that I get the names correct in this match. I think this was a really good chance. I think it was for... I just want to make sure here with what's going on. It was a really good chance for Suleimanov to come forward on that right-hand side, and I think... we've had a red card in the game for Sevilla, and Julian Lopetegui has his hands on his head right now because of all people to get sent off in this game, Jesus Navas has been given a straight red card and he's off the pitch. And I have to see, is Suleimanov who's coming forward. He's one-on-one with the keeper. And that is, I'm just looking at the decision right now. That is a very harsh decision. I think that is something that's going to be checked by VAR here. Jesus Navas' boot actually falls off as he's running. Suleimanov looks like he's gone down in terms of the tackle. And that's all from the fact that Jesus Navas' boot has actually fell off. And it's a red card. And I don't know whether this is going to get checked by VAR here. It's not a penalty. It's a free kick from just outside of the box. And it was actually Suleimanov's boot that's fallen off. And it looks like it's going to stay as a red card. So Sevilla are down to 10 men here. Let me just very quickly change that 2 seconds. And we have some late drama in this game against Sevilla and Krasnodar. Are they going to be able to put this into the back of the net? It's just outside of the box. And if Krasnodar can put this in the back of the net just before half-time, it's going to make things very, very interesting indeed with the second half. Of course, Sevilla are now officially down to 10 men. Jesus Navas has been sent off. Let's see what happens here. Suleimanov is one of the players standing over this free kick. I think Ramirez is standing over it as well as we enter the 6th minute of additional time in this game. This one certainly has been a cracker in this first 45. Let's see what happens here. Last kick of the game for the first half. Krasnodar have a chance to make it 3-1. Free kick is taken and it hits the wall. And just like that, the referee is going to blow his whistle, surely. Still in play, cleared away by, I think it's, just have a look there. Diego Carlos clears the ball away. And the referee will blow the whistle here, I think, for half-time. Although it looks like he's now checking for a handball from that free kick. What a mad end to this first half. But the referee does eventually blow his whistle. It looked like there was another chance potentially for a penalty late on, but it is half-time in that game between Krasnodar and Sevilla. And, well, very late drama indeed between both sides. Sevilla go down to 10 men late on. And what a crazy game that one's turning out to be. Mental. Julian Lopetegui with his hands on his head. And that means every game now is at half-time because Chelsea have also gone to half-time as well. That game was at a red card. Chelsea 2, Rennes 0. Rennes down to 10 men. So there we go. There's all the games at half-time as it currently stands across the board. Let's go through these fixtures. Barcelona 1, Dinamo Kiev 0. Chelsea 2, Stade Rennes 0. Rennes down to 10 men. Dalbert sent off in that game. Club Brugge 0, Dortmund 3. Dominant performance so far from the German side in that game. Ferencvaros only 1-0 down to Juventus, courtesy of a goal from Alvaro Morata. Leipzig 1, Paris Saint-Germain 1. Good performance from both sides. Question is then we're going to be able to nick a winner in that game? And then late drama, of course, in this match. Sevilla 1, Krasnodar 2. Sevilla going down to 10 men just before half-time. Jesus Navas with a straight red card means that he's going to miss 3 Champions League fixtures. What a night of action so far. It's certainly been dramatic indeed. And of course, now it gives us a very good opportunity here to talk about all of these fixtures so far, go through the statistics of these matches and go through these first 45 minutes. Of course, we've had a few little quiet games indeed. So let's go over to the first game. Let's go over to the game that has had technically the least goals on the night so far. And that is the game between Barcelona and Kiev. And looking at the statistics for this game, of course, as you would expect, Barcelona dominating this game so far. Only 1-0 up, courtesy of a Lionel Messi penalty in the 5th minute of the match. But Barcelona have had 13 shots, 7 on target, compared to Kiev's 2 shots, 2 on target. Barcelona with 66% possession to Kiev's 34%. And as you would expect, of course, Barcelona taking the lead, but not a convincing result so far. Of course, you would probably expect them to score a few more goals in the second half. But we'll have to find out because we have said that Barcelona haven't been consistent in the Champions League so far. But they're getting results, and that's all that matters right now to the home side, that they pick up as many results as they possibly can. So let's move on to the next game. This one has been certainly not short of drama itself, specifically towards the end of this first half. Timo Werner has had 2 penalties, which he's put into the back of the net, and he's on for a hat-trick. But we have to talk, Will. There was a very dubious decision, of course, towards the end of this first half. The second penalty that was given, Dalbert getting sent off. Very, very poor decision indeed. What's your thoughts on the first 45?
Yeah, I thought it was a very shocking decision, really, to not only give the penalty, but also give Dalbert a second yellow card. Turn my TV down a bit, you might be able to hear that. But yeah, in general, I'd say Chelsea were the better side in the first half, especially the first 10 minutes. They got that early penalty and scored. And they really were all over Rennes, but Rennes got back into the game. They created a few chances. But I think that second penalty plus that red card has probably just kind of killed this game off a bit because Rennes were playing really well up to that point. But the decision on the whole, I thought, was very, very harsh for Rennes. Yeah,
he's looking very harsh indeed. We saw in the chat a moment ago, Carl Middleton, of course, talking about the decision. It's a very poor decision, I have to agree with you. If you haven't seen it, I don't know why Dalbert's been sent off with a second yellow. But, of course, Timo Werner with 2 penalties in that game as it currently stands. It has really been a pretty boring game for you. Looking at the stats for this game so far, Chelsea, 4 shots, 2 on target. Rennes, 1 shot, none on target. Of course, Rowan watched Stade Rennes not too long ago, and we were just spurring them on to have a shot on target. It feels like we're going to be spurring them on once again to try and at least have a shot on target. But what do they have to do to get back into this game? Because we've said it time and time again every week. They've gone into these games, they've looked really poor. What do they do to get back into it?
I think they just need to come out with an aggressive mindset. We know this Chelsea defence can be got at, and once they face adversity, they do kind of crumble a bit. So Rennes just need to go out with a positive mindset. They need to think it's still 0-0, and they just need to go out there and try and get some goals, because at this point, what have you got to lose? You're down 10 men. You're already 2-0 down anyway. If you don't push for it, you're going to lose. But if you do push for it and you concede a few more, all that's happened is you've lost by a few more, but at least you've tried to get back in it. Just kind of try and go at Chelsea. But we'll have to see what happens in the second half. Timo Werner, I think he might get that hat-trick if he gets another penalty, because other than the 2 penalties, like you said, there's not really been any clear-cut chances in the game.
There hasn't indeed. Rennes have got a lot of work to do, down to 10 men and down by 2 goals against Chelsea. Thank you very much, Will. We'll bring you back in a little bit when the second halves of the games do start. A lot of work for Rennes, and of course, Timo Werner is still on for a hat-trick. Could he get a hat-trick of penalties? We'll have to find out. Let's move on to the next game, of course. Still got a few games to talk about in the background. Club Brugge and Dortmund. It's probably been the best game of the night in terms of goals, and Dortmund with a solid performance so far in the first half. We said they had to go out today and get a very good result, of course, to try and get a bit of momentum in this group. And, of course, Rowan, they've got 3 goals right now in this game, and it's a very good performance indeed.
It is, and there's not much you can really say on what have Dortmund done wrong, because they haven't. They've tried stuff, it hasn't paid off. They tried again, it pays off. That they just keep on attacking. And Club Brugge, as soon as that first goal went in, their heads did drop in the defence. The attack have actually been quite good, but yeah, the defence heads did drop, and that's where the other 2 goals came from.
It has indeed. Looking at the stats right now, of course, Dortmund 3-0 up. 3 goals in 18 minutes. It was Thorgan Hazard who scored the first goal in the 14th minute. And then Haaland's already got himself 2 in this game. 1 in the 18th minute and 1 in the 32nd minute. Stats-wise, Club Brugge have had 6 shots, 2 on target. Dortmund have had 7 shots, 6 on target. It's very clinical in terms of their chances. 44% possession for Club Brugge, 56% possession for Dortmund. It's been a very good game so far, and they're currently, as it stands, sat top of the group. Of course, Lazio dropping points against Zenit. It's a big result for them. And do you see more goals in this game?
Yeah, and I think it doesn't even stop both teams. Diatta and Lang, the 2 wingers for Club Brugge, have been great. They have caused Guerrero and Mooney. We know how attacking the Dortmund fullbacks are, and they've caused some problems. Because at points, Dortmund obviously do, when Guerrero and Mooney do push up, they do sit to a 3 at the back, and that's where Lang and Diatta have made them pay. At points, obviously no goals yet, but they have attacked down the wing. But that high press of Dortmund has put... You will see more goals. There was a moment just in the 43rd minute, I think, when Mignolet had the ball back, and it was Haaland, Reina, and Hazard all pushing towards Mignolet, forcing Mignolet just to kick it long, and the ball ends up getting thing. We nearly had a goal as well. Dahoud on the 45th minute just hits outside the box, and it's deflected off Mata and goes for a corner. The whistle blew before they got corner gut took. But I think there's definitely more goals in this, 100%.
It's a very good game indeed. Thank you very much, Rowan. It's 3-0 to Dortmund as it currently stands. They've had a really good performance so far in this game, and it looks like we could see a few more goals in that maybe before the end. Let's very quickly talk about Ferencvaros Juventus. Said a moment ago, of course, Ferencvaros really doing quite well, actually, in terms of chances, but not in terms of possession. As you would expect, of course, Juventus dominating possession in this game. They've had 61% possession, Juventus, to Ferencvaros' 39. Ferencvaros have had 7 shots, none on target as of yet. They had a few little opportunities. Juventus 6 shots free on target. And although they've had a large spell of possession, the Italian side, they haven't really been too convincing in this game. And more importantly for Ferencvaros, they are still well and truly in this game. And they've still got 45 minutes. We saw them. They were 2-0 down last week in their game. They brought it back to 2-2. Did very, very well indeed. And maybe we could potentially see another shock on our hands. We'll have to find out indeed. But there's still another 45 minutes of action there. Just having a very quick look at the comments. Benaldo, how are you doing, buddy? Are you good as always? He says, cheers from the workbench, lads. Hope you're enjoying the game so far. And it's obviously just seen a moment ago, the shock victory. Bisaxa here. With a very good victory against Man United, which we'll talk about probably in a second, actually. But let's move on to the next game. RB Leipzig, PSG. This one has certainly been a thrilling encounter so far. Probably the best game of the night in terms of the calibre of the two teams. But has it lived up to the expectations, Kieran?
Yeah, I'd say so. It's been a very decent game. It's had ebbs and flows, some, questionable decisions. And very feisty, as you know, we've had 4 yellow cards already in the first half. We've had 2 goals. We've had a penalty. I think it's quite a decent match so far.
It's a very good game indeed. Looking at the stats for this match, it's very, very even, of course. Angel Di Maria in the 6th minute scoring the first goal of the game. And then we talked about 10 or 15 minutes later, he missed a penalty, which was saved by Galachki. And then in the 41st minute, Christopher Nkunku with an equaliser. When you actually look at the stats, RB Leipzig have had 6 shots, 3 on target. PSG have had 6 shots, 2 on target. Possession-wise, it's as even as it could possibly get. 51% for Leipzig, 49% for PSG. Of course, both sides missing some key players tonight. Of course, PSG missing their biggest key players, Mbappe and Neymar. Is it proving tonight very costly for them?
I wouldn't say very costly, because I've got to admit Moise Kean has been fantastic. I think he is trying to break the lines between the defence and run beyond Upamecano, Canate, especially Willy Orban. And he's got through a few times. Yes, they've been caught offside on occasion, but it hasn't been as detrimental as you thought it would be. In terms of Leipzig, a lot of their attackers are on the bench, but you can tell because when Leipzig have got in and around the area, they're trying an extra pass, which a striker wouldn't usually try. And sometimes you've got to be selfish, get a shot off. And I'm not surprised that it's come from a long shot. But if you look at the benches today, Josh, I back Leipzig's bench much more than I back PSG's. I've had a look. 3 attackers that I can see will immediately change the game. On Leipzig's, I can't see a single one on that PSG bench. Unless they're fancying Thilo Kehrer up front tonight, I don't see anything coming from it.
I can't see Thilo Kehrer up top, but we'll have to find out. Indeed, maybe there's some wild tactical decisions up in the arms right now of Thomas Tuchel. But thank you very much indeed. We'll bring you back in a little moment's time. We've got one more game to talk about before we get into the second half fixtures. What a game this has been between Sevilla and Krasnodar. Krasnodar currently 2-1 up against Sevilla. And, well, shithouse performance of the week goes to Krasnodar because currently they've had 26% possession, 5 shots, 2 on target in comparison to Sevilla's 12 shots, 6 on target. But Sevilla are down to 10 men, of course, just before the end of the first half. Jesus Navas in the 45th, the 4th minute of additional time has been sent off. And Krasnodar, of course, leading 2-1. First goal came from Suleimanov in the 17th minute. Then a second goal came from Marcus Berg with a penalty in the 21st minute. And then Ivan Rakitic, he'd got Sevilla back into the game in the 42nd minute with a lovely header. And quite frankly, of course, right now, Sevilla have got a lot of work to do because they're now down to 10 men and losing this game. So they have lots of work to do as we are about to enter into the second half of these fixtures. But do keep your eyes out as always, because there's still plenty more content to come on the channel over the next couple of days. Of course, keep your eyes out, because tomorrow, me and Kieran L, we're live with our Europa League game of the week, Benfica versus Rangers. Should be a very good game indeed. We're live from 5:45 tomorrow. Friday starts the Bundesliga weekender. 7 o'clock, we're live with Werder Bremen. They're against FC Cologne. Saturday, we're live, me and Rowan, for a mammoth fixture between Dortmund and Bayern from 5:15 p.m. kickoff at 5:30. Sunday, Two big matches to cover. First off, Manchester City against Liverpool from 4:15. And then joining us at 4:45 will be Bayer Leverkusen Gladbach, of course, building up to that game as we talk about Manchester City against Liverpool. So two big fixtures, one in the Bundesliga, one in the Premier League on that Sunday, and lots of big fixtures still to come across the board. You really do want to keep your eyes out on the Sports Corner over this next few weeks because we have plenty of content to still come on the channel over the next few weeks. So keep your eyes out as always as we begin the second half of some of these fixtures. Just to quickly run through for those of you that have just joined the stream. If you are new as always, do leave a like and a subscription. And these are the scorelines of the games as they currently stand as we enter the second half of these fixtures. Barcelona currently 1-0 up against Dynamo Kiev. Chelsea 2-0 up against Stade Rennes. Rennes down to 10 men. Club Brugge 3 goals down to Borussia Dortmund. Juventus 1-0 up against Ferencvaros. RB Leipzig and PSG is currently at 1-1. And Krasnodar with the result of the night in terms of the late kickoff fixtures. Sevilla down to 10 men just before the first half whistle. Jesus Navas being sent off in that game. And then, of course, you can see on your screen as well the two results from earlier on this afternoon or this evening. Istanbul with a massive 2-1 victory against Manchester United. What a result for the Turkish side. And Zenit with a really good result against Lazio in a 1-1 draw. But we've got a free kick here early on in the second half for Juventus. Ronaldo is stood about 30 yards out from goal. And, well, if anything, can we see Ronaldo put this into the back of the net? It is certainly Ronaldo territory. He steps up for the penalty. Gets it over the wall, but straight into the hands of Debuj in that Ferencvaros goal. And, well, we could have had a nice early goal in the second half here, but it isn't going to go into the back of the net. And it's a very simple save indeed for Debuj. Of course, Ferencvaros, they need to get that first shot on target in this second half. Try and get that momentum going and really push forward in these games, of course, and try and get some points on the board. They got that big point against Kiev, of course, last week in that 2-2 draw where Kiev were down to 10 men. And if they could get a result tonight against Juventus, you have to say they've done impressively well in this Champions League group so far. But, of course, you could also say the same about Kiev because they were only 1-0 down to Barcelona in this match, and although they've not had a great deal of chances from our half-time talk, they've still got plenty of opportunities to get back into this game. You know, it's only 1-0. They've had a few little chances of their own, and you never know. We could have a shock on the cards if Kiev were to get a good point, or maybe 3 points, you never know, against Barcelona. We know they lost at the weekend, Barcelona. A very frustrating result for them. And, well, the pressure will be on Ronald Koeman tonight to get a victory against Kiev. But as it currently stands, they are leading that game 1-0. Plenty of time left in that match indeed. Borussia Dortmund, of course, 3-0 up against Club Brugge, dominating that game. There could be a few more goals in this one. Dortmund doing really, really well in this match, although Club Brugge have had a few chances of their own. But I'm going to stop for a second here because Ferencvaros are coming forward. There's a ball that's been lofted just towards the outside of the box, and Juventus have been able to clear it away. It's a very simple clearance indeed for Juventus. And there has been a change in this second half for Juventus. Artur has come off the pitch, and on has come Rodrigo Bentancur. So one change in this match in terms of the second half of this fixture. And hopefully we can see a few more goals because this one has been a little bit quiet in terms of goals and not necessarily quiet in terms of opportunities for both sides. But it'd be nice to maybe get a Ferencvaros goal, of course. We love an underdog in the Champions League. And we never know tonight, maybe we could have another good underdog result. I'm talking about underdog results, of course. Krasnodar, 2-1 up against Sevilla right now. That game is still at half-time, of course, because we did get a couple of minutes of additional time in that one. In fact, I think it's just started up now once again. And the very good first half of action there. Krasnodar with 26% of possession, and they're winning the game. And, of course, you would expect now for them to get a little bit more possession than they had in the first half, considering Sevilla are going to have some defending to do indeed. And talking about defending, Ferencvaros have got a bit of defending to do in this match between Juventus because there's a good chance here for Juventus to come forward. And eventually, Morata just bombing down that right-hand side. He waits for the overlapping run of Cuadrado and eventually he's hit it all the way back to Chiellini. I think that was a real waste of an opportunity there for Juventus to push forward in this match and try and get that second goal, because we did have a chance earlier, which Chiesa missed. He had his hands on his head, very disappointed that he didn't put the ball into the back of the net. And you have to say, with how Ferencvaros have played, they've had a few little opportunities. They could have a few opportunities of their own, and we've just had an absolutely fantastic save in the game between Barcelona and Kiev. And well, for the first time this season, we are seeing Ter Stegen back in the Barcelona goal, and he's just had to make an absolutely brilliant save. I think it was to keep Shigankov out from goal, and he's one-on-one with the keeper. He just tries to toe poke it past the German goalkeeper into that bottom left-hand corner of the goal. Ter Stegen makes himself big. He's able to get his left leg onto the ball, and eventually it's gone out of play for a corner, which in the end didn't come to anything for Dynamo Kiev. But what a chance that was for the Ukrainians to try and get themselves a point and a goal, of course, in this match. But we've had our first chance in the games tonight, in the second half, across the board. We're going to be going over to Chelsea Rennes. Of course, Rennes down to 10 men. This one could get fairly feisty in terms of goals. But who had the first chance of the second half, Will?
Chance for Chelsea. And you know what? I think it should be 3-0. Massive, massive chance. Ben Chilwell has been putting in some fantastic crosses tonight at left back. He's been absolutely brilliant again. And it comes to Hakim Ziyech, the new signing. And he's about 6 yards out, and he just can't get it over the ball. He leans back, puts it over the crossbar on the half volley. Should have been 3-0 Chelsea, and you can definitely tell, having no Dalba there with the red card, it's left a big gap at left back for Rennes. But yeah, Ziyech should have scored, and in this game really should be over. But Rennes still in it, and it still remains 2-0.
Thank you very much indeed, Will. It could be a long night for Rennes indeed. And I can see Kyle's typing. Let's go over to the Leipzig PSG game. Let's see what's happened. Go for it.
I need to stop being so predictable, don't I? Every time you see me jump, and then I go towards... I'm sorry, Josh. It's Emil Forsberg. He's on the left-hand side. Obviously, he's playing that cam role tonight. I think he's actually playing more of the striker role. And he's just driving, and he doesn't stop because he knows he's got Danilo Pereira. And I swear to God, he was in and out. He had Danilo Pereira doing the okie-dokie, and he took a strike at goal, but he just missed, and it was just over the bar. I thought we was about to see a wonderful solo effort from Emil Forsberg, but sadly, that's not what it's all about.
It doesn't come to anything, and unfortunately for RB Leipzig right now. But thank you very much, of course, as you cover the stand. Still 1-1 between RB Leipzig and Paris Saint-Germain. But let's go back to Chelsea Rennes, because there has been a goal.
It's a goal for Chelsea, 3-0, and I think that might be it now. Just after Ziyech missed that point-blank chance, it's 3-0, and it's Tammy Abraham. Mason Mount has the ball in the middle, spreads a beautiful ball out to the right to... it's Hakim Ziyech, it's Hakim Ziyech, who just lays it on a plate for Reece James. Reece James runs onto it, puts a beautiful ball into the area, and there's Tammy Abraham to tap it from the centre of the box. Really, really nice goal from Chelsea, exploiting the space that Rennes have given up, obviously because they got that red card. But yeah, Tammy Abraham with a nice finish, 3-0 Chelsea, and moments after the Ziyech miss, I think it's definitely game over now.
It certainly should be indeed. Thank you very much, Will. Chelsea 3, Stade Rennes 0. It's a really good goal, I have to admit. Some good work from Reece James and a simple tap-in for Tammy Abraham indeed. And Cal's put, turning off the Chelsea Rennes games, can't watch it. Chelsea don't deserve to win. Rennes have been robbed. I'll just continue listening to you guys. And then Cal's put, of course, Chelsea don't deserve to win. Not at all, of course, because of the yellow card decision. But we are going to go over to KL because there's been a good few opportunities in this game in the first couple of minutes of the second half. Who's had that chance, KL?
And this time it's PSG. It was literally like tennis. It was up the other end. And I tell you what, Josh, someone switched on long-range mode or something, because in this game, Moise Kean picked it up from just outside the 18-yard box. And literally identical to Danny Olmo's shot, takes strike from long range, and it's just over the crossbar again. I think the players are getting the chances, Josh, but they're just not quite hitting it perfectly. Once they do, though, this game could have been about 3-3 at this point.
Let's hope it's soon. Thank you very much, KL. Hopefully they can click and get that second goal in the game for either of the two sides. Of course, as it currently stands, it's RB Leipzig 1, PSG 1. Being a very good first half, of course. Both teams coming out in the second half, as you would expect, to try and get the victory. Of course, they don't want to drop points, knowing that Man U dropped points a little bit earlier on. Of course, we will be looking to see what's going on. And we are going to go over to KL because VAR has come into play. What's happened?
Well, this, for me, has to be given as a penalty. It's a long ball over the top towards Emil Forsberg. Question marks whether he was offside. He was definitely on. And then I think it's Kimpembe who's going to take a touch, and he touches it with his arm in the box, and that's how he controls the ball. Definite penalty. And the referee agrees with me, because Leipzig themselves, at the same end Di Maria missed, have themselves a penalty. And it'll be the Swedish man, Emil Forsberg. I apologise, it was Danilo Pereira who controlled the ball with his arm in the box to give Leipzig this penalty. Definite pen. I don't know if you can see it on the goal show yet or not, but you'll see it, and it's definite penalty.
It's the right decision, because what they were showing on the VAR camera was Golatsky jumping up and down, but I've been able to see the decision now.
No, I remember seeing that. Yeah, hopefully you can see it. It was on a mini box, yet the big box was showing Galaxy, and I agree with you. Taking a drink as well.
Well, the question is, can they take this penalty away?
Steps up, and it's a great penalty into the bottom left, because Keylor Navas goes the right way, but it's got too much power, too much precision into the side netting on the bottom right-hand corner. Good penalty. Leipzig have switched this game right on its head.
Thank you very much, KL. Well, we said this game needed a goal, and it has delivered it indeed. Leipzig taking the lead against PSG. And, well, we saw that semi-final. They were, well, it wasn't really humiliation. They were battered by Paris Saint-Germain, and maybe it could be their turn to do some battering tonight against them. 2-1 up currently as it stands. Forsberg with the goal in that game. It really means it's game on for PSG. Let's go over to Rowan, because there has been a chance in his game. Of course, Dortmund is currently stands 3-0 up against Club Brugge. The question is, are Brugge pushing to get back into the game, Rowan?
Sorry, they nearly just scored. Header blocked by Gio Reyna. But it could be 3-1. Dortmund did really lovely passing movement. It was Brandt, Guerrero, Delaney. Delaney finds a way through, tries to play it through to Hazard. And nothing comes of it. But Club Brugge getting it, ping a long ball up. It's Lang. Lang gets the ball, plays it through to Dennis. Dennis takes a lovely touch. It's just him and Mounier one-on-one. Delaney, Witsel is stood in the middle, but he has a man. I think it's Bonaventura. I'm not sure. Rather the strikers, I think it is. And instead, he doesn't look up, and he does some lovely steps, and he takes a shot, and Berkey saves it and powers out. But you had a man wide open there, and when you are 3-1 down, you've got to slow it down and look for more options rather than just going, I'm going to hit it, because it was so close. So annoying to see, because Dortmund are my German team, but I want to see a competitive game, and that was a chance to go 3-1. If he looks up, instead, he goes for glory himself, and it's saved by Berkey, and the corner comes to nothing.
And you can see the frustration as well. I'm just seeing the replay now in terms of the chance. It was a very decent chance, I'll give him credit, but you can see the frustration from the player who's inside the box. He can pass it towards him, although it is a little bit awkward for him. But as you said, in a situation like this, you just need to pass the ball to your player, and you never know about a comeback. But do you think they can do it? Is it possible?
If they're playing like that, no. They've had moments, but so have Dortmund. Both teams, I think are content now. And Club Brugge shouldn't be the way. I think Dortmund are fine. Dortmund, I think we'll see a couple of changes, maybe bring a couple of youngsters on. But Club Brugge needs something. I think it is Bonaventura come off, because right now it's only the wingers doing something, and that striker has been virtually invisible the game. So take off Bonaventura. I don't know who their other strikers are, but just a change up front.
We'll have to find out indeed and see what happens in the next couple of minutes. Thank you very much, Rowan, as always. Club Brugge 0, Borussia Dortmund 3. Dominating that game right now, Dortmund, but Brugge slowly trying to get back into it. And while, of course, we were looking at the moment there in that game between Borussia Dortmund and Club Brugge, we have had a chance in the Ferencvaros Juventus game. It was Cristiano Ronaldo who was on the right wing pushing forward. He did a few step overs inside the box, took the shot on his right foot. It was a low driven shot that was saved by Debussy. Just went wide of the post, did go for a corner, but nothing came of it. And, of course, it's a very feisty game, this one, you have to say. Still 1-0 to Juventus. They're trying to push to get that second goal in the match, but nothing's come as of yet in this game for Ferencvaros. And they've still got plenty of time. Half an hour left of this game to try and nick themselves a winner. We'll have to find out what happens indeed with that game continuing on. But plenty of time left there for Ferencvaros. And of course, as you can understand, we've got about half an hour of action left across the board tonight. Barcelona still only 1-0 up against Dynamo Kiev. Chelsea now with a 3-0 lead against Stade Rennes. 2 goals for Timo Werner, 1 for Tammy Abraham. Dortmund 3-0 up in their game, 2 for Haaland and 1 for Thorgan Hazard in that game in the first half. Ferencvaros Juventus, of course, Juventus leading this game courtesy of an Alvaro Morata goal. Leipzig 2-1 up against Paris Saint-Germain. It was Di Maria who scored the first goal of the game, and then RB Leipzig have brought it back. 1 from Nkunku just before half-time, and then a Forsberg penalty towards the beginning of the second half means that Leipzig have got an advantage in this game at home. Really makes this group interesting, I have to say. I'm going to have a look at the group table in just a moment's time. And then Sevilla 1, Krasnodar 2. This game has gone a little bit quiet, of course, right now. Sevilla have got a red card. Jesus Navas been sent off in that game. And, well, of course, it'll be interesting to see if Krasnodar can hold on because, as it currently stands, it's a very, very big 3 points for them indeed. It makes that group incredibly interesting in how it's laid out. And we have had another goal, and surely now it's game, set and match in Hungary. It has been a very wet night indeed in terms of the conditions, but Alvaro Morata has got a second goal, and it is an absolutely fantastic strike from the Spaniard. He's inside of the box. It's a ball that is laid from I think it's the substitute Bentancur, who finds Morata inside of the box. It's actually Ronaldo, who passed. It's a really good assist from the Portuguese forward. Lays a ball into Alvaro Morata, who's inside the box. He doesn't take a touch. He just takes the shot on first time. It's quite an awkward angle, to be honest, but he curls it into the top corner, and it's a sumptuous goal from Morata, and it's 2 for the Spaniard. And while, as I said, it wasn't his night against Barcelona last week, it certainly is his night this week against Ferencvaros, and it just means Juventus do go 2-0 up in this game. But we have had another goal elsewhere, and talking about games that have desperately needed a second goal just to make things a little bit more dead for the opposition side, Barcelona are now 2-0 up against Dynamo Kiev. Guess who it is? I'll give you a second. Answer. Gerard Piqué. He's playing at striker right now. I don't know what he's doing to be in the striker position in terms of this opportunity, but he lingers up top. And, well, we talked about Sergio Ramos yesterday getting some clutch goals for his side. Gerard Piqué doing his best Sergio Ramos impression. He's up there at the striker position. It's a ball laid into the box from Ansu Fati. It's a really good header from Gerard Piqué. Just nods it into that bottom right-hand corner. It's a very good header indeed. No chance that the Kiev goalkeeper is going to save it. And Piqué's playing striker. Each to their own, I guess. He's got a goal to his name. Barcelona, of course, are now 2-0 up against Dynamo Kiev. And the credit has to go to Ansu Fati because that was an absolutely exceptional cross from the Spanish youngster. It's very scary because he seems to be doing incredibly well in the Champions League so far, and of course doing really well for Barcelona. And he's got another really good assist. Fantastic for Gerard Piqué there, and fantastic for the youngster Ansu Fati. Barcelona now 2-0 to the good against Kiev, as are Juventus 2-0 to the good against Ferencvaros, with 25 minutes left of action before these games do finish. There's been a few substitutions in the game between Leipzig and Paris Saint-Germain. Henriks and Poulsen have come onto the pitch. Dani Olmo and Mukiele have both come off. So we do now have a recognised striker playing for Leipzig. Of course, if you joined us earlier in the show, then you'll know that Leipzig originally started out without a recognised striker. It was Dani Olmo who was playing up top, but we now do have that recognised striker in Yusuf Poulsen. But we'll have to see what happens there with 25 minutes left of action. But if you are new to stream, as always, do leave a like and a subscription. It's always very greatly appreciated indeed in terms of the new people that are joining us. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show, as always, with the Champions League Gold Show. Of course, we will be back in a few weeks' time with the Champions League Gold Show. We do have a little bit of a break in terms of everything that's going on. I think it's not back till the beginning of December, so we get a few weeks to relax in terms of Champions League action. But don't worry, because we've got more action to come with Nations League and international fixtures over the next few weeks. There's some very good international games we're going to be covering, so do keep your eyes out indeed for all of that content. But as for now, of course, we've still got plenty of time left in these Champions League fixtures. 25 minutes left on the clock, and hopefully we can get a few more chances in these games. And, well, it looks like we've had a few more substitutions in that game between Chelsea and Rennes. And it's Rennes who made a few substitutions here. Clement Grenier has come on for Nzonzi. That's the name that many people will know from the past, of course, Grenier. And Del Castillo has come on for Gaboho. So a few attacking changes for Rennes, of course. 3-0 down as it currently stands They've got a lot of work to do if they want to get back into this game. And I guess for them now, of course, it's about damage limitation rather than an incredible comeback indeed. And there is another change as well, making another attacking substitution. Jeremy Doku is on for Martin Terrier. So a few more changes there indeed. And we've had another big chance in that game between Barcelona and Dynamo Kiev. And it is another glorious opportunity in this game for Dynamo Kiev to get themselves a goal. And this time it was a really, really good opportunity for Supriya, who's playing up top for Kiev. He's one-on-one with Marc-Andre ter Stegen, and he makes such a good save to Stegen. Once again, he gets down low, makes himself big, pushes the opportunity away from goal. And Kiev could have had a couple of opportunities to put the ball into the back of the net, but they haven't been decisive with their chances, and it still means Barcelona take a 2-0 lead. We've got a few more changes now in that Chelsea-Rennes game. Giroud has come on for Tammy Abraham, best striker in the world, of course. Going to see him score a few goals tonight now. And Kovacic has come on as well in this game. And N'Golo Kante has come off. And then Emerson has come on for Ben Chilwell. Of course, the best substitution of the night, Olivier Giroud. He'll probably score a hat-trick now with about 25 minutes left of action there. So a few substitutions going on across the board in these Champions League games. It'll be interesting, of course, to see whether these changes will have an effect in the match. But let's have a quick look at the Ferencvaros Juventus game, of course. Took a little bit of time to relax, and there hasn't really been much going on in this game since that second goal. It's really taken the wind out of the sails for Ferencvaros. And to make things even worse here, they're bringing Dybala on, Juventus, which is certainly a player I think most teams would dream of having in their starting 11. He doesn't even start for Juventus. He comes on as a sub, and, well, we know him in the past, of course, a fantastic player on his day, really gifted footballer. And he's got 25 minutes to come on and maybe score 1 or 2 goals for Juventus here and hopefully make a name for himself, because we haven't seen much of Dybala so far this season, but he now has an opportunity to shine. Can he use this opportunity against the Hungarian team? We'll have to find out, of course, as this game does go on. We've had a yellow card in that game between PSG and RB Leipzig. Kazawa has gone into the book with a yellow card. So we've had a lot of yellow cards across the board in that match in terms of the defensive players. And then having a look at the chat. Christ Boys in the stream. Hope you're good, buddy. Nice to see you again. Welcome along to the Goal Show. Hope you're good as always. Good to see you in the stream, Christ Boy. So we have had a yellow card there in that Leipzig PSG game, but of course, Leipzig still 2-1 up in that match. But let's go back to the Sevilla Krasnodar game, because just looking at the opportunities, we know that Sevilla have gone down to 10 men in this match. Jesus Navas was the player that did get sent off in that game. And, well, there hasn't really been much going on for Krasnodar. Still, only with about under 30% possession, which is quite shocking, to be honest, because you would have expected Krasnodar to come out a little bit more in this game and have a bit more of a foothold of possession. But it's actually Sevilla who are doing fairly well to dominate possession-wise in this game. And there has been a change in that match. Victor Claesson has come on in that game. And just to update you as well, Dybala in the Juventus game has come on for Morata. So he'll be very happy tonight with the 2 goals that he's got to his name in the Champions League. He could have technically had 5 if those 3 games against Barcelona counted, but of course they don't count, so it doesn't matter. But let's have a quick look. We have had a chance in that game between Rennes and Chelsea. What's happened, Will, and who's it for?
It's a chance for Chelsea, and Timo Werner. He had his hat-trick chance, but a lovely ball played over the top from Thiago Silva in behind to Reece James, who's been bombing on the right all night. He gets the ball across, the keeper commits, gets nowhere near it. And who's there at the back? Timo Werner, but the ball is just cleared away, taken out of his path, and he just couldn't get on the end of it to make it 4-0 and get his hat-trick. Rennes survived. About 25 minutes to go left in this game. I still think it's done, but Werner could have got his hat-trick there.
He's still got a little bit of time to try and get his hat-trick. Thank you very much. Well, still 3-0 to Chelsea as it currently stands with about 20 minutes left of action. And, well, it has been a night of goals, a night of drama, and a night of red cards, because we have another red card in one of the games. It is between Leipzig and PSG. Who's got that card, Kieran?
And unsurprisingly, Josh, it's a double yellow. We spoke about it. There's been cards in this game from the very start. Idrissa Gana Gueye has been given a second yellow and has been dismissed from the Paris Saint-Germain midfield. It's a 50-50 on a lofted ball. Haidara gets there first. I mean, they're both going for it. I think that's a very soft second yellow card, in my opinion, Josh. You let me know your opinion as well, but I think it's very soft, and it's 2 yellows, and makes this task insurmountable, really, for PSG now.
It's going to be a very big task indeed. I'm not going to lie, I haven't really seen that it didn't really come up with a foul, to be honest, which is a shame. So, of course, you'll know a little bit more about me. But we said tonight there's been a lot of yellow cards in the game. Gay getting sent off in this match. It's a long way to come back now for PSG with 10 men and 20 minutes to go.
Yeah, especially with a depleted squad already. You know, this was kind of the strongest 11 and nobody else, really, because the bench was quite weak. And now it's the strongest 10 with not much on the bench. I can't see much from this game now. I think Leipzig will just see it out. But there is 20 minutes, so you never know. But if you do find the tackle, let me know. I think it's quite soft for a second yellow.
I will have to see if I can find it. Thank you very much, Kieran L. There has been a lot of red cards today. 3 red cards to be precise. 2 very dubious decisions, I think you could say, in terms of some of the red cards that have been given out. But as we can see, of course, Leipzig have now got that extra man advantage. PSG, of course, 2 goals down. They need a goal back in this game. And now down to 10 men. Idrissa Gueye being sent off with about 20 minutes of action left. Crash Boys put in the chat, I'm sad about Manchester United. Of course, Man U losing in their game today against Istanbul Basaksehir. And I think even for Manchester United fans, you have to agree that tonight they played an incredibly high line indeed. It was really, really poor in terms of how they played defensively. But we have had a goal in one of the games. And if I was you, get this game on now, because things have come interesting. But the question is, where's it come interesting? The answer... Game on between Barcelona and Dynamo Kiev, and it is a really, really lovely goal indeed. And well, we've said before that ter Stegen has been tested a fair bit in this match so far, and they finally got a goal back in this game, Dynamo Kiev, and it was a really, really lovely goal. And I'm actually looking at the stats right now, and they've done very well indeed in terms of the amount of opportunities they've had. It's a ball that's lofted into the box, and oh my Lord. I was going to say it's a really good goal. It's actually really poor keeping from Andre-Marc ter Stegen. He's had a fantastic night so far, and it's a really poor mistake. It's a shot originally hit, I think, by the striker. He deflects the ball out, very similar to the Mignolet chance we talked about earlier in the Club Brugge game. It's a very, very weak parry away from the German keeper. Eventually, it lands at the feet of Viktor Shigankov, and he puts it into the back of the net. And it looks like with 15 minutes left, that could turn into a very, very interesting game indeed. And talking about interesting games, there has been a goal elsewhere in one of the fixtures. It really is game on in this one too, because we talked earlier about one of these sides being down to 10 men. Sevilla are back in the game. Sevilla 2, Krasnodar 2. And just looking at the opportunity right now, it's a really poor mistake at the back by the defender Kayao for Krasnodar. He takes too long. He dawdles on the ball, eventually gives the ball away, and Sevilla are able to slot the ball into the back of the net. And the player that put the ball into the back of the net was En-Nesyri in the 69th minute. Means 20 minutes left of that one. There is a potential chance for Sevilla to try and get a win. We've had another goal elsewhere, and it is an absolute shambolic goal. And, well, we said earlier about Dybala coming onto the pitch. He's made the most of his substitution already. It's 3-0 to Juventus. It's an awful mistake at the back from Ferencvaros. It's a poor ball from one of the centre-backs. Lays it off to Debuge, who has to scramble to try and get a touch on the ball. It's a pass that's hit incredibly heavy. Debuge doesn't get a touch on the ball. It lands at the feet of Dybala, who has the most simple finish that the Argentinian will ever get in his life. And it's 3-0 to Juventus. Not the best of nights for Ferencvaros. They have crumbled here towards the end of the game. And, well, Dybala, the substitute, gets a goal to his name. 3-0 to Juventus. And very, very unfortunate indeed, because they had done so well, but they've crumbled here with 20 minutes left of action. So goals flying left, right, and centre right now, but we've got a little bit of time to talk about a few substitutions. Club Brugge and Dortmund has had a few substitutions actually in this game. Eder Balanta, the Colombian, has come on for Ruud Vormer. And then for Dortmund, Jude Bellingham and Marco Reus have come onto the pitch. Delaney and Julian Brandt coming off. So a few substitutions in that game. And then a few substitutions in the game between Leipzig and PSG. And of course, PSG down to 10 men as it currently stands. And some interesting changes indeed, because Kazawa and Sarabia have come off. Kehrer and Baka have both come on. So 2 defensive changes from PSG towards the back end of this game. Of course, they are down to 10 men and they have a lot of work to do in this final 15 minutes if they do want to get an equalising goal and try and salvage a point. But let's have a look at the chat, see what you guys have been saying. I'm actually going to have to check in a second because there has been a goal in one of the other games. And, well, they were 2-1 down Sevilla. Goal, goal, goal. They're now winning. They were down to 10 men, and what a pivotal substitution this was. En-Nesyri has 2 goals in 2 minutes, and it's a set piece that's lofted into the box by Ivan Rakitic. Is bobbling inside of the box. En-Nesyri gets a touch. It's 3-2 to Sevilla, and what a game this is. And Krasnodar, they've crumbled right at the end of this game. I mean, they've got about 15 minutes left to try and salvage something. And En-Nesyri, well, I tell you what, actually, originally, it was a touch on the ball, I think, by Luke de Jong. He hits the post, and then it comes out to En-Nesyri, who's able to tap the ball into the back of the net. But he won't care. He's got 2 goals to his name, and as it currently stands, it's Sevilla 3, Krasnodar 2. The comeback is complete. Incredible to see. Let's go over to Will, though, because there has been a chance in this game between Chelsea and Rennes. Who's had the chance, Will?
Chance for Chelsea. They win the ball high with Hakim Ziyech. Hakim Ziyech, again, we're never going to pass it. He just slips it through to Olivier Giroud, and it's saved.
Oh.
So Olivier Giroud. He's got a score, Josh, to be honest with him, mate. He's about 6 yards out. I don't know what he's trying to do. He's trying to dink it over the keeper, trying to poke it under him, but he just kind of makes a mess of it and hits it straight at the goalkeeper, and the keeper saves it. But, yeah, Giroud there fails to make it 4-0, and it's still 3-0.
Very poor indeed. I'm guessing Jude obviously just wanted to lay it off to his teammates rather than put it into the back of the net. Of course,
he didn't want to demoralise Ren too much, I think.
No, he's been nice in this situation, but thank you very much, Will, indeed. Chelsea still 3-0 up against Rennes. Of course, Rennes down to 10 men with that double rare yellow earlier on today. Kieran's in the chat. Are we all good, buddy? We had a good time. A talent worker. Come on, PSG. Wickham a backdoor, a 2-1 win at St Andrews. Chris has put in the chat, let's not forget PSG have done less this season, reaching Champions League final last season, 1 season wonders. Oh, interesting there. Christboy asked, are you doing the Europa League tomorrow? We are indeed. We are covering the Benfica Rangers game, but we are doing a goal show for that as well in the background, so we will keep you up to date with all the goals. Sasha's then put Morata is better than Ronaldo. That'll certainly start a few Ronaldo fans in the chat. And then Kaz put fair play Sevilla, never giving up. Fantastic performance from Sevilla to say they've been down to 10 men. And it's certainly been edgy indeed, but we're going to go over to Rowan because there has been a chance in this game between Bruges and Dortmund. Who's had that chance, Rowan?
Yeah, we're a couple of minutes ago, and it was to Dortmund. Haaland just weaves his way through the Bruges defence, squares it across the face of the goal, and Thorgan Hazard is there, but it was open net, and it was just bit behind him. It could have been 4-0, but Dortmund been playing well. Bruges haven't looked really in it in the second half. There were 2 subs on. Noah Lang, a man who had a great game for Bruges so far, he came off, and my Leicester FM save, Charles de Ketelaere, is on. And then also another subs of my boys for Dortmund, Gio Reyna, my boy, has come off, and Felix Paslak, my other boy, has come on for Dortmund. So changes all around for both sides.
It's the dream substitution for you.
Gio Felix.
There's nothing better than playing Football Manager and having a player come onto the pitch. And Rowan, you can see it right now. He's got a smile on his face. We love to see it.
3 of the boys have been playing today. Gio, Felix, and Charles. Oh, I can't go wrong.
Honestly, he's loving it right now. Thank you very much, Rowan. Still 3-0 to Dortmund as it currently stands against Club Brugge. And Rowan is loving life right now because some of his favourite players have come onto the pitch with about 10 minutes left of action. And of course, as you can see on the screen right now, we have plenty of goals across the board tonight. As it currently stands, Barcelona 2, Kiev 1. Kiev are really fighting back in this game. They had a goal from Shigankov just a few moments ago, and they have 10 minutes to try and salvage a point. Of course, Chelsea 3-0 up against Stade Rennes. Rennes down to 10 men early on in this game, courtesy of Adalbert doubled yellow, which is a very questionable sending off for Rennes. But of course, it has cost them quite heavily in this match tonight. 3 goals down against Chelsea. Club Brugge also 3 goals down to Borussia Dortmund. Really good performance from the German side tonight. Plenty of goals, 2 for Haaland and 1 for Thorgan Hazard. Means that they've had a great first half performance. And of course, they've done very well in the second half indeed to make sure Bruges don't score. Juventus, they're also 3 goals up tonight against Ferencvaros. A goal for Dybala and 2 for Morata. Means that the Hungarians are being battered in tonight's game once again. RB Leipzig 2, Paris Saint-Germain 1. This has been a very tight game indeed. Leipzig 2-1 up. PSG down to 10 men. Idrissa Gueye sent off not too long ago, meaning that game has got certainly interesting. Could Leipzig maybe get 1 or 2 more? We'll have to find out indeed. And then the game of the night by a country mile. Krasnodar were 2-1 up going into the second half. Sevilla were down to 10 men. En-Nesyri has scored 2 goals in 2 minutes to potentially salvage an incredible 3 points for Sevilla. What a game of football that has been tonight for Sevilla indeed. Really good game. And really good matches across the board tonight. Plenty of goals indeed. And a really good match day, you have to say. But let's have a look at the chat and see what you guys have been saying right now. Christ says Man United play better in Champions League than the Premier League. Kieran saying we just don't play well in general. And then Sasha's put Juventus does not need Ronaldo. And then Crossbar said Ronaldo and Messi are getting old. Ronaldo tonight, he's got 2 assists to his name. He's done very good indeed. He hasn't really been majorly effective in the match, let's say. You haven't seen a lot of him. But most importantly, he's been able to come up with a crucial 2 crucial assists, of course. And most importantly, Juventus are winning indeed. And, well, I've just had a look, of course, to see with some of the championship games going on tonight. And I wish I hadn't bothered because my local team, Rotherham, are shit. But we are towards the final 10 minutes of the fixtures tonight as it currently stands. Are we going to see any late winners? Some very tight games across the board. As we said, Kiev still only 2-1 here against, oh my lord. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's 40 Juventus. And well, this is, I have to say, this has left me speechless. It is goal of the night for how bad it is. So to give you a breakdown of this goal, it's catastrophically bad. We had an awful goal earlier, but this all comes from a back pass from one of the Ferencvaros players to the goalkeeper, Debuge. Debuge hits the ball against Dybala. Dybala then hits the ball. He's 1-on-1 with the keeper. It's quite an all right save from Debuge. It's hit straight at him. The ball is then smashed into the back of the net by one of the Ferencvaros defenders. I mean, he tried to clear the ball. He's just hoofed it into the back of the net. It hits the bar. It goes into the back of the net. It's comedy goal of the night. And Juventus have 4, and they've had 2 fairly theatrical goals tonight. And well, this will be a night to forget for Ferencvaros. You have to admit they haven't really done much in this game at all, specifically in the second half. And Dybala has 2. And what an effective substitution he is. Why he doesn't play all the time, I have no idea. Because, as a passionate fan, I don't understand why somebody like Dybala isn't starting games. I think it's absolutely criminal that he's not in the starting 11 for Juventus. But he's proved tonight. He's got 2 goals within about 10 minutes. And it's a very comedic goal from Ferencvaros there. And it's 4-0 to Juventus with a few minutes left of the match. Kieran has just said Forest have scored a 97th minute winner in their game. And of course, we've just lost to Luton. We are absolutely terrible. What a shameful club we are. But certainly not shameful tonight in the Champions League is Sevilla, still currently 3-2 to them against Krasnodar. Are we going to see any late drama in that game? We will have to find out indeed very shortly. There's been action across the board tonight, all over the place. It really has been very exciting indeed to watch some of these matches tonight. In fact, there's been a total of 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 17, 20, 22 goals tonight in the Champions League. Fantastic night of action across the board. Once again, Matchday 3 has been really, really incredible in terms of the amount of goals we've been given. Honestly, really enjoyed this Matchday 3, but we are going to have a slight change of system here for PSG, a substitution from the side. Florenzi has come off. Rafinha has come on. Of course, that is the former Barcelona midfielder coming on here in the latter stages of this game. As we edge towards the final 5 minutes of action. Don't forget, if you have enjoyed the Gold Show tonight, do leave a like and a subscription. As always, it's always very greatly appreciated as we push towards 1,700 subscribers. And don't forget, we're back tomorrow night. Me and Kieran L are going to be live for the Europa League early kickoff game. That is going to be the game between Benfica and Rangers, but we will, of course, keep you up to date with a mini gold show in terms of those 5:55 p.m. kickoffs. So keep your eyes out indeed, because that should be a very good game. Apologies to Christboy. He probably doesn't want to hear Rangers in a stream like this tonight, but of course, should be good to see the Europa League fixtures tomorrow. Callum's put great games in the Champions League again tonight, and last night, loads of goals, and that's what makes it so good. You know, when you have nights like this and yesterday where there's just so much action going on and so many goals, it keeps me nice and busy. And that's the important thing, because, you know, we've had times in this Champions League goal show where things have been just a little bit quiet and there's not been much action going on. But certainly Matchday 3 has delivered all the action we could possibly want in terms of red cards and incredible goals. And, well, it's been another fantastic night indeed. Cressboys asked, why was Neymar and Mbappe not in the match tonight? I couldn't see anything about it. I don't really know why they're out. I don't know if it's due to COVID or injuries, but I know they missed a lot of players tonight. Icardi was missing. Verratti was missing as well. So I don't really know why they're out, but of course they're missing a lot of big players. And then Sasha's put Ivan Rakitic, the best player of the match in that game between Sevilla and Krasnodar, of course, scored a goal earlier in the game. But we are going to go to Will, because there was an offside goal that was given. Was it to Chelsea or was it to Rennes, Will?
It was actually to Rennes, and they got him behind Chelsea, and it was a bit of a let-off. Jeremy Doku has done all right since he's come out, actually. Puts the ball into the middle. It's well saved by Mendy. The ball's then hit straight back into the box by the left-back. It takes a deflection off Reece James, and it falls straight to Doku, who just taps it into an empty net. However, he was in an offside position. Doku says he didn't feel like he was offside because, well, I don't know if he said that, but you can tell he's a bit annoyed because it did actually hit Reece James before the ball came to him, so he didn't think it was offside. But it was given offside, and Rennes do not get their consolation goal, and it remains 3-0.
Very unlucky indeed. Thank you very much, Will. Still 3-0 to Chelsea in that game. Of course, Rennes down to 10 men and could have pretty much got a goal in this match. At least it would have been a consolation goal at best. But it isn't going to count, of course, as Will has said there, given as a offside. Just looking at the chat, there's been a few more substitutions as well in that game between Club Brugge and Dortmund. Vanaken and Bonaventura have come off. Kremenek and Schrijvers have come onto the pitch late on here as we edge towards the final 5 minutes of these matches. There is a couple more minutes left of Sevilla. Krasnodar, of course, that had a few minutes of additional time because of the free kick that was given in the red card as well. So we will see a little bit more action there. But Juventus are coming forward here. In these last couple of minutes, there's ball lofted into the box from Ronaldo towards Dybala for his hat-trick, but eventually it's cleared away by Ferencvaros. Of course, they want to try and hold on and not concede any more late on. Sasha's put, he means Morata, best player in the match in that game. It can't be that one. I'm guessing you mean the Juventus game. Morata has been the best player on the pitch. But yeah, it's not been a bad match overall for Juventus. They've got 4 goals and they will be absolutely delighted with themselves with how they've played in this match so far. Of course, plenty of goals across the board from Morata and Dybala. But we are now into that final couple of minutes of action. Still very tight between Barcelona and Dinamo Kiev. It'll be interesting to see here if Kiev can get a 2-2 draw. It'd be probably the shock result of the night in terms of what has gone on. Of course, I think you could say the Manchester United want to be a shock result as well. But just seeing a few opportunities here in that Sevilla Krasnodar game. It is very tight indeed because Krasnodar are coming forward. There's a ball lofted into the box, which Vashlik has made a very good save. Marcus Berg getting onto, getting a slight touch on the ball there with a header. And Vashlik comes out, is able to get a slight touch of the ball to make sure it doesn't go into the back of the net. And then eventually is cleared away for a corner for Krasnodar. So we'll have to see here whether Krasnodar could come back in this match because they were 2-1 up. And then Sevilla, who were down to 10 men, have made it back into the game and made it 3-2. But of course, there's a few minutes left of that one. I think that is around the 83rd minute of the game. So there's a few extra minutes of action to keep our eyes out on in that match as we get towards the end of the game. And then Chris Boy has asked, who do you think will win the Rangers match? I think it's a very tough game. I think Benfica will win it, ultimately. I think Benfica are a very, very tough team to face. They've got some incredible players on the pitch. They've got a really good side, a great manager in Jorge Jesus. And I think he's going to be Rangers' toughest test because we know they played Porto not too long ago last season. They did very well against Porto. But I think Benfica are a really, really tough test. But we'll have to find out because, you know, Rangers on their day do tend to turn up in Europa League matches. So we'll have to find out indeed and see what happens tomorrow night, because that is going to be our early kickoff in the Europa League at 5:55. So do keep your eyes out for our Europa League watch along tomorrow, 5:55 UK time. That it is, of course. But we have had a change in that game between RB Leipzig and Paris Saint-Germain. Another change for Leipzig. Sabitzer has come off the pitch, and Kevin Campbell has come on as we get towards the last couple of minutes of that match. Still 2-1 up against PSG. This would be a massive result in the context of the Champions League group. And of course, what we will do at the end of the game is we'll very quickly run over how the Champions League groups are currently looking in terms of match day 3. Because remember, tonight is the last night of action in the Champions League until December. We will have a 3-week break, unfortunately, which is probably come at the worst time if you live in the UK. Of course, going back into lockdown from tomorrow. It's come at the worst time because we want Champions League action all the time. And unfortunately, we won't have any more Champions League action until December. But don't worry, we've got plenty more watch-alongs to come over the next few weeks. And we have a goal! Ferencvaros have got one back, and well, it's not really going to count for anything in terms of the match itself, but a goal from Bowley. Ferencvaros, of course, they've scored a few goals in this competition, and they've got a late goal in this game. And Bowley, he just, of course, runs to get the ball. There's a slight celebration from the Ferencvaros players because they've scored against Barcelona, and they've now scored against Juventus as well. And just seeing here, in terms of the chance, it was a ball that was... It was actually a long-range effort that was a really poor effort, I'm not going to lie. It's drilled into the path of Bowley. Bowley takes the shot on. It's not the greatest of saves, I have to say, from Szczesny. It's punted straight back to Bowley, who taps it into the back of the net. And Ferencvaros have a goal, which is nice to see. 4-1 now, but of course Juventus will take the 3 points home. And well... I mean, the Ferencvaros manager, he's celebrating a little bit, which is lovely to see. He doesn't matter that they're 4-1 down. He cares about the goals, and that's what we love to see. And Ferencvaros have got one back, 4-1 in that game. So we are now getting towards the 90th minute of these matches. Of course, Ferencvaros, they're getting a late goal in this one. 3 minutes of additional time in this game. There's 5 minutes of additional time in the game between RB Leipzig and PSG. There was a free kick for PSG, which Kieran has described as terrible, which probably sums up the majority of the match for PSG and how they've played in this second half. But there's 5 minutes left of additional time in that game. There's 3 minutes of additional time in the game between Club Brugge and Dortmund. Of course, Dortmund are going to nick a good win in this game against Club Brugge. A very good result tonight for the German side. And then, of course, there's a few minutes left of Barcelona-Kiev. There'll be a few minutes extra in that game between Sevilla and Krasnodar, which, of course, when this game is finished in a moment, I will flick over and watch that last couple of minutes of that Sevilla-Krasnodar game to see if they can hold on and maybe get a win. But just having a look to see what's going on. I said 3 minutes of additional time. Schulz didn't come on. It was Maury who came on for Munier in that Dortmund game. So a few changes, of course, in that match later on. But we'll have to find out what goes on there. With a few minutes left. And then Christboy's put, I'm not in lockdown, so that's good indeed. All right for some, because, of course, you'll know the UK tonight is going into lockdown at midnight. And we've got plenty of watch-alongs to come, which we'll talk about at the end of the show. Plenty of action still to come on the channel in terms of watch-alongs. To keep you guys busy, of course, plenty of football action still to come in terms of competitive league football and international fixtures as well. But we are down to that last couple of minutes of this game between Ferencvaros and Juventus. Might be one more chance here to get a 5th goal in this game. And it's Dybala on the right wing trying to get into the box here. He's just at the edge of the box, was trying to flick a ball towards Ronaldo. It's going to come out here to Rabiot, who flicks the ball into the path of Danilo, who's on the left wing. Now into Chiesa. And Juventus here looking fairly happy to just pass it around in this game. We got our first full-time score, full-time at Barcelona-Kiev. Unfortunately, Kiev could not come back in this game to get themselves at least a point. Barcelona, once again, not convincing tonight in terms of the result itself. So maybe a little bit lucky to not come out with a 2-2 draw. Of course, I think there'll be a few people who might have watched this game tonight. He'll know a little bit more than me. But I have been keeping an eye out on the highlights. And Kiev, they had their fair share of chances tonight, but just couldn't be clinical enough. And Barcelona take the 3 points late on in this game. 2-1 to Barcelona, and a very good result indeed in this match. So Kiev there, a little bit unfortunate to not come out with anything in this game. And we are going to go over to Kieran here, because there has been another red card in this game, and it has become very reckless indeed. PSG down to 9 men now, Kieran. What is going on?
Well, they've lost their heads, have PSG, and it's Personal Kimpembe, who's been sent off. Of course, he was yellow carded for the handball earlier, and he's now just been yellow carded. And it's not a surprise. Leipzig were breaking away. Yusuf Poulsen was running, and he just slid in from behind and tripped his ankles. It's a cynical foul. It's definitely a yellow card. And now PSG, the game was already gone. I don't understand why he's made that tackle, because now they'll be without both Idrissa Gana Gueye and Personal Kimpembe for the next game in the group. So Leipzig will be licking the lips to play PSG again.
It's very, very reckless indeed. Very, very poor there from Paris Saint-Germain. Down to 9 men late on. Thank you very much, KL, as always. Full time in the game between Club Brugge and Dortmund. Ends 3-0 to Dortmund. Great performance tonight from the German side. And there has been a chance to the game between Chelsea and Rennes. Is it a chance for Chelsea or a chance for Rennes, Will?
Chance for Chelsea, and it's the last chance of the game. Matej Kovacic, who's done really well since he's come on, finds Callum Hudson-Odoi on the right, who also came in, I just forgot to tell you. And he puts in a really, really nice cross, actually. And it's in towards Olivier Giroud again, and it's a free header for him. And usually when he's clinical, he puts away a free header, Giroud, but he puts it wide of the post, and he could have had a hat-trick tonight. But like we said, he didn't want to be too harsh on Rennes. He didn't want to demoralise him too much, so you can understand him putting it wide. And it's still 3-0, and that was the last kick of the game. And it's ended here. Chelsea 3, Stade Rennes 0.
You can absolutely understand why Giroud didn't want to score. He didn't want to be too harsh on Rennes. Thank you very much, Will, as always. Full-time 3-0 between Chelsea and Rennes. It now means we're down to the last game of the night. Sevilla Krasnodar. We're down to the last minute and a half of this fixture. Full-time of the game between Leipzig and PSG means that Leipzig will come out with a big win. PSG down to 9 men late on. They certainly did lose their heads indeed, but keep you up to date now. We've got a minute and 20 seconds left of this game, and Krasnodar are coming forward here. Victor Claesson lofts the ball into the box. Marcus Berg with a header. That's just wide of the mark. And Julian Lopetegui right now, he's really, really enigmatic. He is kicking every ball, every moment on the pitch. He is really experiencing. I think here Krasnodar have got a goal kick that's been given to Sevilla. So it looks like that could have been the last chance of the game late on. But let's have a quick look at the chat, see what you guys have been saying. Sasha's put Preston North End free, Reading free, I'm guessing. I don't know whether they meant the 3 or 3-0 there. We'll have to find out. Crashboy says, does the lockdown stop the Premier League? It doesn't. The Premier League will be continuing, so we'll have plenty more watch-alongs still to come over the next couple of weeks. Daz is in the stream. Hope you're all good, buddy. He says Celtic Prague prediction 3-0. I'll tell you what, I'll go 4-1 Celtic. We'll have to see what happens there. Of course, Celtic being a little bit nervy over these last couple of weeks, but maybe tomorrow could be the night where they get a few goals on the board. And then Callum's put PSG showing how crap they are. You love to see it. Congratulations to Leipzig. Of course, we'll talk in a minute about the group stages and how the groups are looking when these games do finish. But we are down to the last 10 seconds here. Julian Lopetegui just been talked to by the referee. Very enigmatic, as I said a moment ago, but he's kicking every last ball on this pitch, hoping that Sevilla can come out with a win, as we are now into the 4th minute of 4 minutes of additional time. So surely the referee will blow his whistle in a minute, but it's Sevilla who's coming forward here. A good chance for En-Nesyri to maybe get his hat-trick late on. Ivan Rakitic is on the left wing. Krasnodar have got the ball back. This could be one more opportunity. Foul from Fernando, but the referee is going to play on. And now there could be a chance here for Krasnodar to come forward, although Fernando, with a really good tackle, means that Krasnodar's chance has been broken down, although the referee is going to give a free kick here at the halfway line. Krasnodar's manager telling everybody to get forward here in the last minute. Can they get one more opportunity on goal? Long ball lofted into the box. The long ball is stopped by Diego Carlos. Really good defending from the Brazilian. Although Krasnodar have got the ball back here, it's on the right wing. Can they make something here? Ball lofted, trying to get it into the box, but this time it's a good bit of defending from Jules Koundé. The referee blows his whistle, and it is a massive, massive reaction from Julian Lopetegui there, because he knows how massive and how important that victory was for Sevilla. They were down to 10 men in the second half, and they've come out after being 2-1 down to Krasnodar with a massive 3-2 victory, and that is a big result, and Krasnodar have to be frustrated and disappointed that tonight they haven't come out with anything in this game, especially after being 2-1 up. So that is the night's action in terms of everything done. Here are your scores at full time. Barcelona 2, Dynamo Kiev 1, Chelsea 3, Stade Rennes 0, Rennes down to 10 men in the second half of this game. Club Brugge 0, Borussia Dortmund 3, Ferencvaros 1, Juventus 4, RB Leipzig 2, Paris Saint-Germain 1. PSG were down to 9 men in this game. 2 red cards, 1 for Idrissa Gueye and 1 late on for Presnel Kimpembe. So a few red cards in that game. And Sevilla 3, Krasnodar 2. Sevilla were down to 10 men. Jesus Navas sent off just before the end of the first half. What a night of action. Absolutely incredible in the Champions League in Matchday 3. If you have enjoyed it, by the way, and you have you're new to the channel, do leave a like and a subscription as always. It's very, very greatly appreciated indeed. But we're going to bring the boys in one by one. And I think we'll start off with the first game here. A very interesting night for RB Leipzig. Big victory for them against Paris Saint-Germain. But PSG, they certainly lost their heads. They were down to 9 men at the end of the game. Poor performance tonight from a very depleted Paris Saint-Germain side. Kieran.
Yeah, poor performance across the board for Paris Saint-Germain. You know, they took the lead early from a Leipzig mistake, and then they missed the penalty. And from there on out, it just wasn't their night. And as you said, you can't go losing your head. You had 10 men already. Then Kimpembe makes a stupid foul when he's already on a yellow. The first red card, I said slightly soft. The second one, no questions asked. For Leipzig, though, what a way to snap a losing streak. You know, you get demolished by Man United, you get beat by Gladbach on the weekend. Hopefully they're back on the right track now with a win here. And he just sets the group up very, very nicely.
It does indeed, because, of course, Istanbul Basaksehir got big 3 points against Manchester United, which means, as it currently stands in Group H, bottom of the table is still, unfortunately, Istanbul Basaksehir, but they've got 3 points on the board. Sat currently in third place, Paris Saint-Germain on 3 points, of course. RB Leipzig beating them head-to-head, and RB Leipzig are in second on 6 points. And then Manchester United, of course, with a big goal difference, head-to-head as well against RB Leipzig. Better, of course, beating them 5-0. Means that Man U still sit top of the table, even with that loss against Istanbul Basaksehir on 6 points. We talked to you yesterday about the group with Gladbach and Real Madrid being very open. This group's very open as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. A lot will be answered in the next coming round of fixtures. You know, the big games are still between them top 3 teams. Istanbul, if they can pick up a result here and there, they'll be very happy. But, you know, a draw was a bad result for both teams tonight. Leipzig took the mantle, and now they are in the driving seat ahead of PSG. They take care of their own business in Paris, and the top 2 might remain the same.
They certainly do indeed. Good result tonight for Leipzig. Thank you very much, Kay. I'll be ringing you back in a little second. So that is the game between RB Leipzig and Paris Saint-Germain. Big result tonight for RB Leipzig, as always. His computer is about to die, so we'll very quickly bring him in. If it dies, then that's going to be very unfortunate. Big performance tonight for Chelsea. Very debatable red card, though, for Rennes. What's your thoughts on the 90 minutes of action?
Yeah, I thought Chelsea was by far the best team throughout the game. I don't think they really left second gear, to be honest with you. Yeah, the first 10 minutes, they were brilliant. They dominated Rennes. They obviously got the early penalty. Then Rennes started getting back into the game. But as we mentioned, that red card, about the 40th minute, that gave Chelsea their second penalty of the game, really killed the game off, because there was just so much space for Chelsea to exploit in the second half. And Rennes were chasing the game, which even meant even more space for Chelsea. But Chelsea, they dominated the game from minute 1, and they got a well-deserved 3-0 win and managed to rest some players for the game for the weekend.
They certainly did indeed. Big result. And then, of course, the other result in the group, we're very quick to talk about now, probably the game of the night by a country mile. Sevilla 3, Krasnodar 2. Sevilla down to 10 men. Good performance tonight from Sevilla. They were 2-1 down at half-time in their fixture. Jesus Navas getting sent off as well in the 4th minute additional time. They came and fought back in this game and ended the series with 2 vital goals, which means it currently stands in Group E. Rennes and Krasnodar sit in 4th and 3rd respectively on 1 point, both with really poor minus goal differences. Sevilla in 2nd on 7 points. Chelsea in 1st on 7 points. It's looking done and dusted now, isn't it, that group, pretty much in terms of the top 2 going up?
Yeah, it really is. And I think when we saw this draw for the group stage, those were the 2 definite favourites in this group to go out, and both on 7 points now. The other two on 1. They both need to win at least, well, even if they win 2 of the games, they'll only be level with Chelsea and Sevilla. So they need to be picking up points in every single one of their games remaining. And I just don't think it's going to happen. I think they'll definitely both go through. But the game, Sevilla versus Chelsea, is definitely going to be, an exciting one to who takes the group as group winner.
It's going to be a big one indeed. And of course, it's going to be very important for Krasnodar against Rennes to find out who goes into that Europa League spot. Thank you very much, Will. As always, greatly appreciated. I'm getting compute Mike Dyson, so I'm going to try and blitz for everything fairly quickly. Let's go on to the other games, of course, tonight. Let's go to Rowan very quickly, of course. Big win for Borussia Dortmund tonight. They had to go out there and get a good result, knowing especially that Lazio dropped points against Zenit in the earlier fixture. Of course, Rowan tonight. Very good fixture indeed for Dortmund. A very good result.
It seems like with this week's ties, I've just get good first halves and then second half instead. But Dortmund did what they had to do. What more can you say? I talked about at half time. They did everything they need to. Club Brugge did put up a bit more of a fight in that sort of 70th to 90th minute part. But yeah, Dortmund did a solid 3-0 win. They needed it. I think that puts them at 6 points now. And obviously with Lazio losing does help them a lot. Bright sparks in that thing. It's no harder to look past Erling Haaland. That's 14 goals in 11 Champions League games. It feels like he's unstoppable at points, but then it does feel like at some games he's very quiet. Thorgan Hazard getting some good playing time. Julian Brandt getting a lot of good playing time. The one thing that I liked about Dortmund this week was there was no Mats Hummels as our other centre-back to support Kanje, but Delaney and Bitzel did a really good job of interlinking, switching if they needed to. The youngsters got a good shining. Rainier, Bellingham, More, all got at least got to play thingies. And then on Club Brugge side, Noah Lang, really good game before he came off. Shout out to Kettler, okay when he came on the youngster. Nothing to make me think that he could be a big prospect. Yeah. Diatta on the other side plays great. It's what you expect. You expected a Dortmund win, and we got it. Club Brugge, I think it's striker where they need to make some changes.
They certainly do indeed. Just to quickly look at the group, of course, we said earlier, Zenit dropping. Zenit didn't drop points. They technically did, of course, they were 1-0 up, but a 1-1 draw against Lazio means that as the group currently stands in Group F, Zenit sit bottom of the group on 1 point. Of course, that point against Lazio today being very vital. Third place is Club Brugge on 4 points, 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss. Lazio dropping points today means they now sit second with 5 points. Dortmund sit top on 6 points. It's a very, very close group indeed.
It really is a group that can go anywhere. I think, fortunately for anyone that gets these two teams who go out of the group, I don't think they're making past round of 16.
Do you think?
Dortmund the only chance, but against the biggest sides, I'm worried for them. The thing is, it's a new sort of style. It'll be interesting to see how they go, but I think it's all based on this weekend's game that's coming up on the Sports Corner on Saturday. But yeah, I think we'll wait and see how they cope against a top-tier Champions League side. If they take Bayern to a draw or a close loss, they can challenge, but it's all about this Bayern game of the weekend.
We love the interlink. We'll talk about that in a minute. Thank you very much, Rowan, as always. 3-0 win for Dortmund tonight. Very good result indeed. And then very quickly, of course, to talk over the other group, the last group of the night. Of course, we kept our eyes out on that big game between Ferencvaros and Juventus. And, well, Ferencvaros got themselves a goal back in the game late on, but it was a great performance tonight from Juventus. And it was not the greatest first half in the world in terms of the action, but they got themselves back into the game with a few goals for Morata, 2 goals to be precise, 2 goals for Dybala as well, means that it's a very good win tonight for Juventus. And then Barcelona, a very tight game against Dynamo Kiev. Give credit to the Ukrainians because they did very well indeed. They had plenty of chances, but they just couldn't get the winner in the end. Viktor Shyankov with what was a consolation goal in the end with 15 minutes left of the match. And it means as it currently stands, very similar to the other group earlier we talked about with Will in the Chelsea Rennes. Ferencvaros sit bottom of the group on 1 point with a -7 goal difference. Third is Dynamo Kiev on 1 point with a -3 goal difference. Juventus sitting second on 6 points, of course, losing to Barcelona. And Barca, after tonight's game, they sit top on 9 points. They haven't really been that encouraging, but they're currently still unbeaten on 9 points. And you, of course, would expect Barcelona and Juventus to be the 2 teams that go through, which makes that game against Kiev and Ferencvaros very interesting for who goes through to that Europa League spot. So that is all of the night's action. Of course, you can see at the bottom of your screen as well. Istanbul beat Manchester United earlier on in the early kickoff, and Zenit's got a 1-1 draw against Lazio in the later kickoff. And of course, that's all the night's action done. All done and just out of the way. There is plenty more content, as Rowan talked about a moment ago on the channel. You want to keep your eyes out indeed, because tomorrow, me and KL are going to be live with the Europa League early fixture between Benfica and Rangers from 5:45. Keep your eyes out for that one. As always, should be a very good game indeed. Then on Friday, start of our Bundesliga weekender, 7 p.m. will be live for Werder Bremen against Cologne. Should be a good match indeed between two interesting sides. Dortmund and Bayern take off against each other on Saturday night. Mammoth fixture in the Bundesliga, as always. That one's going to be. And then on Sunday, 2 games we're going to be covering. Manchester City and Liverpool in the Premier League. It should be me and KD for that one for 4:15. And then we'll also have Leverkusen and Gladbach with KL, 4:45. We're going to be interlinking those 2 games together. It should be a very good weekend of action, of course. Plenty of games to keep our eyes out on and plenty of Bundesliga action. Our first ever Bundesliga weekender should be a very good one indeed. But thank you for all of you that joined today. Really, really good night and a really good match day of Champions League action. Really, really fun indeed. Our next Champions League goal show will be in 3 weeks' time. In fact, to give you a precise day, it'll be on the 2nd of December when the Champions League returns. What a lot of shite. We have got some international fixtures to get through, of course, but we'll be back tomorrow with the Europa League goal show. But as always, thank you very much, Will, Kieran and Rowan, as always.
Thank you.
Very greatly appreciated. Thank you very much indeed. And as for now, hope you have a fantastic morning, evening, or afternoon, wherever you are. And Rowan has something else to jump in there with.
Champions League's back on the 24th.
Is it the 24th? Even better.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt the outro. I was like, I swear it's the 24th.
Even better for us. A week early. We love to see it. That's putting a smile on our faces. And Carl's put in the chat, some great matches to come. Cannot wait indeed. Thank you very much. But there we go. A week earlier. Big dubs for everyone. Thank you very much as always. Hope you have a fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. And we hope to see you again soon.